believe it or not, we actually got internet again, and that is crazy because it was not supposed to come back to this area until 5:30. So I'm just going to pull out my phone here on the broadcast and just be like, hey, the internet is back up. Yeah, we actually doing this. Give me just a second. Dear internet. Oh, oops, not repost. What am I doing? Quote. There we go. Let me verify that we're actually back here. Riveting, fascinating gameplay content as Pharoahmone manages to use his phone. Close it out of this one. Let's pull this up. We are live. Okay, we're back. We actually are back. Hi, chat. We made it. We made it, chat. The internet at the venue is back up. Just in time for round 5. Link below. Woo! Post. That's the tweet. So we made it. So to explain what happened in our last set of duels, unfortunately the internet cut out in the middle of the broadcast, so we lost a little bit around 4. We will try to see if we can't upload that onto a separate VOD, but we might just be hanging out here for the round as it is. Good news is, as we go into gameplay, we have just started our round 5 match, so we do need to go ahead and get that updated with deck lists. Try to find out a little bit of information. And go ahead and update to round 5. There we go. So not too hard to see where we are at in this duel. It looks like it is just the beginning of the turn here as we see Rock of the Vanquisher supported there by Heavy Borger and the Vanquish Soul start field spell. We did just see a card drawn there, but afterwards we're going to see the reveal here of Vanquish Soul, Razen in order to special summon Vanquish Soul Holly Sue. But we made it back. Finally back. We never thought we would find you, champ. Feels good, though. As now Holly Sue is going to be supported by Vanquish Soul Zhao Long. It shows you that Vanquish Soul is still doing pretty good. And yeah, we back. Oh, it's so good to be home. So good to be back, duels. We were so scared that we were just going to have to upload a YouTube VOD for you guys later. And it's much more exciting when in actual real time, you get to see Canine Ripper Xyz Summon detaching that Vanquish Soul Holly Sue to allow our player on the bottom right there to grab a Canine monster. Looks like player 1 is going to be Crystal Obrega. Haven't seen what Crystal's playing yet. Remember, this is still the very beginning here of our round. And thank you for those of us who come back to see this. It certainly took a little bit of patience, but we are live and back in concert. Do see Canine 66B Lantern hitting the field. Able, of course, to always bring out the support of a fellow level 5 monster. But now we'll immediately reveal Jokul, special summoning Jokul and Lantern. Sort of a Jokul Lantern. Halloween is next month, of course, but it does look like we're going to, before Xyz summoning again, grab another Canine card from the deck, that being Canine Isna. And the deck's still really strong. Like, if you were worried that Canine Vanquish Soul wasn't going to get anything done, man, it is very, very powerful still, even with some of the hits on the Forbidden Limitless to the deck. One Razen, okay, that's fine. Certainly not as consistent as it could be, but the rest of the deck is doing well. Do see an Xyz summon here. Now it's up for Valen to appear on the field. And gonna set that K9 release. Looks like we're just taking a look to see if we're gonna, 5 cards in the hand and the effect of the Vanquish Soul start field spell. But before we do, I know it looks like we are just revealing for that, so showcase and draw. So it does look like on the opposing side here, it's actually Lunalight. So we are going to start off with Fire Formation Tenki. We know how powerful that can be when starting off all these Lunalight combos. Oh, but here it comes. Forced release. You made him do it. We're about to rip on up into the next line. Canine exceeds monsters here. And so now our werewolf appears on the field. And we are going to get to destroy a single card on the field. Which can be a little tough. Tenki obviously is a continuous spell card, so it does have to resolve on the field. But it didn't, so we're not going to get anything else off of that. We do get to activate Lunalight Masquerade, so really beautiful sequencing from Crystal there. Using the maybe first, and then using the definitely have to second. So that certainly have to force the opponent maybe to use another effect, although none of the monsters on board really doing much at this point. Werewolf is very powerful, obviously, during the standby phase, and is going to continue to gain attack power. Looks like we are going to detach. Going to take a card out of the hand. This could be dangerous. Man, the heavy polymerization, that'd be an expensive, expensive Lunalight Liger Dancer. Thinking there about the Lunalight Silverhound. Do you really want to put that in the graveyard? Maybe not the best idea. David considering his options there. Lunalight Perfume. Oh, you definitely don't want to put that in the graveyard. Is there really a Lunalight card you do want to put in the graveyard? Well, it looks like we're going to get rid of the heavy polymerization card. Banished. So don't have to worry about that at all, actually, now that I remember the proper effect there of our Canine Werewolf. Again, thank you for your patience. Certainly been kind of an up and down dueling day here, but we still have half the tournament in order to broadcast to you the finest duels out of Pasadena. We kind of needed the internet to work, and now it is working. So that is exciting. Equally exciting is David's just tremendously massive hands. 6 cards to just a few that Crystal's been able to hold on to. It looks like the Masquerade effect is good. So cycling through, we're going to go ahead and grab out our Lunalight Gold Leo. Starlight Rare, by the way. Not sure if those in the chat are more fans of Starlights or Quarter Century Secret Rares. Some people like the pure silver finish. Some people love the stamp and the gold font. Kind of depends on the card for me. Interesting question, I suppose. But we're going to grab out the Lunalight Yellow Martin. All these wonderful, colorful cats combining. But David and his dogs trying to finish them off before they even start. That Liger Dancer's a terror. I had a couple of sets with a friend earlier this week in Genesis format, and Lunalight Liger Dancer, if you don't have the Kaiju, oof, don't let it come out. But it looks like we are going to grab that Vanquish Soul Holly Sue back to the hand. Crystal certainly a fan favorite in the chat, but has her work cut out for her. But she gets ready to play Lunalight Fusion. Lets you fuse, including materials from the extra deck. A terror in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, but honestly a terror in the advanced format as well. Making it to the top 4 of the World Championship. And I got a good feeling about YCS Lille and perhaps YCS Anaheim afterwards. That Lunalight, it's got a long lifespan ahead of it. Crystal considering how to deal with that Canine X Werewolf. Appears to be, oh, we're going to drop the Izuna now. Did use some monster effects. So Izuna to the field. And I think Izan's effect is going to activate here, sending a Canine monster from the deck to the graveyard, usually Lupus, to get that Xyz summon. Found the Lupus. Maybe it is Lupus this time. That joke is on the house. But we are going to see Canine 00 Lupus use its effect to Xyz summon a non-light Xyz monster. And I think we're getting into number territory here with the Nash Knight. I mean, Lunalight could power through this still if it manages to go all the way. Looks like we're going to activate Lunalight Perfume, targeting the Silverhound in the graveyard. And so that'll be special summoned to the field in defense mode. It's a tough matchup. Remember, we're in round 5, but these duels are 4-0. Lunalight Fusion is going to be activated. I mean, there's so many different names here. You know, we at least got 2 on the field. Maybe 1 from the extra deck. Do we let it resolve? No way to chain any of the cards in hand. Too many resources being limited off by the fact there are cards in the field. So no infinite impermanence and no Mulcharmy Fuwalos. Dead in David's hand. So we are going to fuse 2 Silverhounds and 1 Leo Dancer from the hand. As well as what? And yeah, there's the Liger Dancer. Oh, and it's just unaffected by card effects. 3,800 attack. Quick effect. Send a Lunalight monster from the extra deck. Destroy all of your opponent's monsters. That is difficult, and it attacks twice. What is that card? That's unchecked power. Yes, it's a fusion monster, and yes, it's a fusion monster. Requires 4 fusion materials, including something that commonly is only in the extra deck. But managing to get this field out without Kaleido Check. Crystal Obrega. Just bringing it. Could just sweep the field here. Take a look at the graveyard first. But think about Lunalight Masquerade, able to fuse from the graveyard. Or rather, enable the banishment of materials from the grave. But we are instead going to use its effect to bring out the Yellow Marten. Take a look at the Yellow Marten. It's so cool to see Lunalight. Like, I mean, it's always been good. People have been playing Lunalight on and off since, I want to say, Raphael Nevin at the YCS, using things like Magician's Soul and Apprentice Illusion Magician. But now we're going to see an Xyz summon. Oh, wow. And we are going to bring out our Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Tiger King. And that is such a card because it could just negate everything on the field. I'm not saying this deck's unfair, but I definitely will say the deck is just darn good. Because again, when Xyz summoned, of course, you could set a fire formation, spell or trap card that can be tanky. And once per turn, you can attach a material, just negate the effect of all face-up effect monsters on the field except Beast Warriors. And that's pretty good. Now, it is going to get flipped face down with a Valen. Attaching that Canine 66... Is it B Lantern? It is B Lantern. I didn't remember his badge number. But let's banish that Lunalight Perfume. And we're going to discard there. So Crystal, a regular Serena from Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5, grabbing Lunalight Wolf. This ain't Genesis format. Pendulum monsters are allowed here, so she will proudly profess Pendulum to push further into the duel. So looks like going to go ahead and send the Lunalight Perfume Dancer to the graveyard. Taking a quick look at the Nash Knight. Is that going to be able to get it done? I mean, unaffected by card effects is kind of hard to deal with, especially with a 3,800 attack monster. So considering here, this is going to be the Liger Dancer's effect here. That's how our Lunalight Perfume Dancer got to the grave. And it's going to be all those special summon monsters going away. So Valen, Nash, and Canine Werewolf gone, as well as Rocket the Vanquisher. A little bit of protection there for the Heavy Borger, but we're going to go ahead and activate Lunalight Wolf. And just push it on in. Crystal just not necessarily unimpressed, but unaffected by a full field of Vanquish Canine. And look at that, it's 2 copies, each of who respectively can use their effects multiple times each turn. The idea of clearing out your opponent's cards again, but that field spell punishing David, unable to use his infinite permanence. Not that it would be affecting it anyway. And the attack twice. Lunalight is good this format. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Certainly all decks have their weaknesses. Going to go ahead and reveal on that Vanquish Soul Holly Sue. Try to push back, maybe just getting some defensive options on the field. I mean, a body's a body, especially when you're staring down this many attack points. Plenty of time left on the round. Still about 35 minutes left on the clock, at least for the main event. Certainly did not expect such a comeback. Definitely managing to get it done. Again, welcome back. Tell your friends. We are live and in concert once more. The internet for the entire area was out. Not just our internet, but next door's internet and internet for miles. And we just got fortunate enough that the internet came back on. We are in round 5 of 8 today. 217 players go in. 32 duelists will get their invite to the North American World Championship Qualifier. And 8 duelists will get their game map featuring the amazing new Radiant Typhoon theme. Speaking of themes, we're going to go ahead and set a Vanquish Soul Snow Devil. Oh, no, excuse me. We added that from the deck to the hand using the Dr. Madlib effect. Going to send another card to the graveyard using the other effect of Liger Dancer. Clears that out. Attack twice. That's it. Crystal Obrega wins fair and square. Game 1 of round 5. So Lunalight doing very well. Not that anybody needed to tell you that Lunalight was good. It got top 4 at Worlds. That's pretty solid. But again, Crystal winning there. Earning herself a star chip. Just takes 10 to duel Pegasus. Well, and you got to make it through top cut. But obviously off to a strong start here. Now, how do you deal with Lunalight? Well, you can outpace it. Try to get ahead of it. Side deck options are interesting earlier in the tournament, where we had the internet working. We did see cards like the coveted Anti-Spell Fragrance just rocking it. And you can obviously use that to stop the spells before they happen, which has been kind of not like common in Canine decks, but certainly out there. But it's tough to deal with a monster that big, unaffected by card effects. Now, if you're rocking Share the Pain or anything else that makes your opponent do something, those actions do work not against Lunalight, Liger Dancer, because they're not affecting Lunalight, Liger Dancer. They're affecting your opponent. And so, evenly matched. That'll do it. Destructive Karma, or excuse me, Destructive Darumat Karma Cannon. That'll work. Share the Pain, as we mentioned, that'll work too. But both players, just taking a pensive look at the side deck. Both kind of steely duelists. Not in any way that is an insult. They're both just locked in. Duelists of few words and many cards. But that'll get you far in the tournament. Let your cards do the talking, as Joey Wheeler likes to say. Speaking of which, if you're looking for cards doing the talking from rounds 1 through 4, you can find those VODs on our channel, actually. It'll be stream part 1, stream part 2, stream part 3. We're sorry the internet broke. But we made it to the threequel. All right, duelists drawing their hands. David likely to go first. Oh, and there's an anti-spell fragrance just off the top. We'll see a Mulcharmy Pharoahmone drop down. But an Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring counters it immediately. Reinforcements to the army likely to grab Razen. Nice little search to test if Crystal is going to stop any of those card effects early. Crystal lets it slide, so David reaches in, likely for Vanquish Soul Razen. All right, so we will normal summon Razen, activating its effect to search out some Vanquish Soul cards. And it's good. So on resolution, looks like we are digging deep. I probably would see Holly Sue, could be Heavy Borger. David takes a look at Holly Sue, sees the light shining, and decides to go ahead and grab it. So obviously, pretty early in the turn, you don't know what kind of wild, powerful, wacky cards Crystal may be holding in her hand. Do you see Rock of the Vanquisher Link summoned out? Going to use its effect to grab back that Razen. Now we're going to go ahead and reveal the Vanquish Soul Holly Sue. Great sequencing, not giving away a single piece of information there. And so now going to reveal a Dark and a Fire. 2 different attributes. Let's go ahead and go into the deck. Slowly but surely crawling through this deck, just like you duelists are crawling back into the chat. Again, thank you so much for your patience. It's been a wild day. We're glad to have you. We're glad to be here. So we do see Dr. Madlove showing up off of Vanquish Soul Holly Sue's effect. And now we're going to search out the Vanquish Soul start field spell. Can almost hear the character select screen music playing now. So going to use the effect there. Grabbing a different attribute. So we'll get our Vanquish Soul Xiaolong. So let's go ahead and summon some monsters here. Looks like it's going to be our Jokul, using its effect to special summon the Vanquish Soul Xiaolong from the hand. It is level 5 after all. Such synergy with these two decks. Number 5 is alive. Get almost a full deck profile from David there. Do you see that he's apparently running Droll and Lockbird and DD Crow? Droll and Lockbird certainly still powerful in this format, shutting down a lot of different search plays. But we're not searching anywhere. We're going to perform an Xyz summon. We know exactly what we're going for. Canine 17 Ripper. Background audio for the players is low, but that is working as intended. Just so your poor ears don't have to hear us both shouting over each other. But we do see a case for Canine added from the deck to the hand. Going to go and set that to the field. Nope, okay. Set another card, then activating a case for Canine. Got our Lantern there. So still a couple of Xyz summons that can be performed this turn. We saw that David was easily able to make 3 Xyz last duel, but it didn't do anything to stop the onslaught of Lunalight monsters from Crystal. Has to be a little bit careful here. But doesn't have to worry about that Mulcharmy Pharoahmone in the graveyard. No, it's been a long turn, but remember, Ash Blossom and Joy Spring did stop that. There are more than 2 cards in the hand. So David is going to go ahead and normal summon without tributing. the Canine Isna, and will use its effect to go ahead and send what I imagine to be Canine Lupus to the graveyard. We went from it's never Lupus to it's always Lupus. So performing an Exceed summon. Materials are 2 level 5s. Valen coming back with a vengeance. The Super Psy Sky Blaster is here. And it is a great card for sure, but looks like it'll be one more draw with the Molchavi Pharoahmone. Crystal taking a look at her hand, trying to figure out how she's going to claw her way through this duel. It's exactly what she did with the Liger Dances last time, but oh my goodness, that was actually a draw for turn, because we're going to activate Book of Eclipse. Flipping down everything face down, except the Rock of the Vanquisher, who no longer will really reap the rewards. Chaining Anti-Spell Fragrance. That's fine, but it's going to slow down the tempo of the duel. And it means that if these monsters survive, David may be drawing 3 new cards during the end phase of this turn. So, Dr. Madlove, Canine Ripper. Kind of weird because the Exceed shows you got to flip that. Yep, there you go. It'll still go underneath. And so it is the Joe Cool. Yep, so you can see him face up. And then we'll do the same thing there with the Valen. So now Crystal has quite a few spells, but nothing doing right now as long as that anti-spell fragrance is there. And even at 1, it's been pretty consistently powerful, and when drawn has just shut some duelists down. And that's enough. Crystal concedes game 2. And David Olmedo is the winner of game 2. So pass him a star chip. He's getting a little closer to an unblemished record, going from round 5 into round 6. But it's anybody's game as the players go right back in the side deck. Just a little too difficult to deal with the impossibly powerful anti-spell fragrance. Great card to one of, so there's a little bit of a luck element. You know, you just happen to draw it. And, well, just happen to draw it after all. But certainly an interesting preview of this format, whether you watched all the rounds of Day 1 of YCS Lille or have just been watching us deal with a little bit of technical difficulties down here in Pasadena, Texas. This is Doom of Dimensions. And what are we learning? Between the all-new Forbidden Limited list and some of the new cards here, Yummy still feels good. Draco Tail is still very popular. Various Canine variants are doing it, but sometimes a set ago, the cards are just as good. And that's the story with Crystal Obrega's Lunalight deck. Also saw some Blue Eyes here in the tournament, as well as Momento, right? If you caught some of our earlier VODs before we went down. Pascal, YCS Houston 2025 champion. Show him back up to his spot. Houston and winning round 3 with Momento. So there's still a lot of decks in this format. It's a very interesting format for sure. Some decks I haven't seen. I haven't heard any whispers of double D, triple D players, quadruple D technically after the newly released cards from Doom of Dimensions. Haven't seen any Dooms yet. I would love to feature Dooms, please. Show me the power of Droll and Lockbird. Not even Droll and Lockbird. Thunder King Ryo and a trap card. But the old ways are still good. And Crystal is going to get a chance to go first. So this may be cruise control for Duel. Crystal may be able to quickly put out those Liger Dancers. And if she's able to get it all together before an anti-spell fragrance shuts her down, well, Lunalights are a terror. So opening hands have been drawn. And looks like we're going to go ahead and see interesting assortment of cards here. DD Crow, very good against Lunalight, actually. And a Dark. But wow, we're going to use Tri-Brigade Fractal to get some Lunalight monsters to the graveyard. So which Lunalight is going to come in there? Well, it looks like we're going to send the Lunalight Silverhound to the graveyard. Grabbing a Gold Leo. Gold Leo's effect activates. I love like the trapeze vibe here. Think about that DD Crow. It is our turn when it comes to Vanquish Soul. We're going to grab a Lunalight and then got to discard a card. So actually, we say goodbye to Lunalight's Serenade Dance. So David just taking a moment, making sure he knows what's up. But with two beasts of the graveyard, one of them being a Tri-Brigade monster, looks like we are going to go ahead and normal summon Lunalight Kaleidocheck. Using its effect, no stopping that. So we are going to drop a Lunalight Black Sheep to the graveyard now. Black Sheep's effect is going to activate. Going to try to DD Crow that. That's fine. Plenty of spells. This may be your last chance to activate him if it's anything like last duel, although it doesn't seem like anti-spell fragrances managed to show up in David's hand. Too little too late anyway. If he's going second, maybe not a card you even include in your deck if you're going second. Considering banishing the Lunalight Serenade Dance for its effect, Crystal goes for it. Seeing if there's any response from David. No, he nods. Stoically, doesn't even speak. Locked into this duel. So discarding the Foolish Burial Goods. Kind of got everything you need already. Could have used the Foolish Burial Goods to send the Lunalight perfume to the graveyard. But instead, going to allow for the special summon of an additional Kaleidocheck. Kind of in a good position for an Xyz summon here, but before we do, Kaleidocheck's effect activates. Dropping a Lunalight Yellow March into the graveyard. Crystal off to a very strong start in Game 3. About 20 minutes left on the clock. This duel will go the distance. One of these duelists is not going to leave this round, but both of these duelists are going to have some kind of record. Not a double match loss, that's for sure. But I guess Commentator's curse, that could be wrong. And it could be kind of a weird. Maybe a 20-minute duel. All right, we are going to return the Gold Leo to the hand, a special summon of the Yellow Martin from the graveyard with its own effect. Crystal being very meticulous here. Invites on the line, but Xyz summon. Build the overlay network. The two level 4 monsters combine. Interesting that I saw Infernal Banshee there. Maybe a backdoor to Arch Nemesis Protoss. But it does look like we're going to grab Fire Formation Tenki, activate Fire Formation Tenki. Ah, I see the issues in David's hand. He's got Pot of Prosperity, Vanquish Soul Razen, Vanquish Soul Xiaolong, and a Canine Lupus. And we are going to add the Black Sheep back to the hand. Has it any wool? We're going to discard it and find out. Right back into the deck. Crystal just doing an amazing job here. Gets the polymerization. Is it time? Polymerization. The materials are Kaleidocheck standing in. And I think I saw the Quarter Century or maybe Starlight copy of Gold Leo, depending on what that card was. Didn't quite make it out. But we're going to get our Lunalight Perfume Dancer onto the field. Did get the audio fixed. Thank you guys for your patience. Looks like somebody put a little governor on me, but we have broken the speed limit back to sounding. So clap twice if you can hear my voice. Oh, okay, some of you actually did do that. Thank you. All right, Lunalight, Perfume. Going to go ahead and bring back the Kaleido check. Still got another polymerization at hand. So are we ready to clinch this out with a giant fusion? Granted, it's only turn 1 of game 3 of round 5. We're not going to have a battle phase just yet. We do activate a second copy of Lunalight Perfume. It is not once per turn that you can use the effect. You can just keep on doing it. Lunalight Tiger hits the field. And the materials are almost there. So sending these 2 monsters to the graveyard. We're going to grab Cross Sheep, actually. Now we're going to activate Lunalight Wolf. Lunalight will bring back the Kaleido check. Monster's been special summoned there. So Cross Sheep has very particular text. Let's go over it together. Just so we can find out what's wildly weird about this card. Because I know what's going through David's head. He's like, but you didn't special summon a fusion monster over there. If a monster is special summoned to the zone this card points to, can apply the following effects in sequence based on the card types in the monster this card points to. So you special summon the Kaleido chick while it's already having Cross Sheep point to a fusion monster, and that counts. Lunalight is very, very, very powerful. I'm going to go ahead and set in a discard. We may be seeing Lava Gold here, so maybe it made its way into a Vanquish Soul list. But before we do, Link Summon. It's going to be for SP Lunalight. Now we're going to activate another Lunalight. This time it's Wolf. Earlier I mentioned Wolf, it's Tiger. So Tiger on the bottom pendulum scale there. Up to the top there's Wolf. Activating the effect. We are going to see the Liger Dancer. Fusion Summon. Now we're going to see Summon. Putting Baguska in defense mode. So, play finally passing over to David. Got his work cut out for him. Draws a Dr. Madlove. Has some Vanquish Soul cards, but it's going to be really difficult when none of your effects are going to resolve except the Rock of the Vanquisher. Crystal just doing a beautiful job of setting up the field with only 15 minutes left on the clock. Plenty of time to duel. Pot of Prosperity activates. What is it going to help right now? We got to make that decision. Let's see what we end up banishing. A full deck profile from David. Take notes at home. Thinking about that Ripper. Thinking about that Ripper. Sure, maybe that's Nash Knight. Certainly a redundant extra deck. Very well built if you're worried about Kashtiras. Maybe even Dogmatica out there. Albazoa is the thing. So a Nash Knight, a Ripper, and one other card I didn't quite make out there, but we are going to reveal 3. It's going to be Vanquish Soul Xiaolong. And then it is going to be the Durendal and a DD Crow. Durendal makes sense. Equip to a powerful monster, search out a warrior. That'll be your Vanquish Soul Razen. But you got to pick something that's kind of rough. Unaffected by card effects, and all your other monsters go into defense mode, and there's still an SP Little Knight who's in attack mode because Link monsters don't turn sideways. Crystal really pushing David towards the edge here. He's done a great job in this duel. Some great, interesting choices. We'll go ahead and grab that Durendal. Sort of a discount reinforcements of the army. It's kind of harder to play. But David still has to do something with that Durendal. A decent hand of cards, but he's going to start targeting the SP Little Knight. You could try to dodge it, but it would still end up in the graveyard. And you wouldn't have SP Little Knight. And what are you going to do? Get rid of your Boguska? Terribly tired Tapir? I know it's been a long day, but it's not nap time just yet. So we're going to activate, equip, and then immediately send off. Crystal doesn't seem perturbed in any way by the threat of a Fire Warrior. And there it is, Vanquish Soul Razen. I mean, perhaps David does get out of this with his life points intact. But going to normal summon the Vanquish Soul Razen, and it's going to go to defense mode. But nothing to worry about since it would be linked off anyway for Rock of the Vanquisher. So activating the effect of Rock of the Vanquisher is going to trigger the SP Little Knight. And the SP Little Knight, of course, banishing the Rock of the Vanquisher. Now we're going to reveal Show and Earth. So far, so good. Monsters in defense mode. You could make an Xyz monster. That's difficult, though. It's still going to be affected. It's still going to be put in defense mode, but the Superstar Slayer Typhon still shows up. It's got a continuous effect. That's good. But it should be in defense mode. There we go. So, again, monsters with 3,000 attack or higher cannot activate their effects. So, Vanquish Soul, kind of affected by that too. Caesar Velius. But most importantly, the Liger Dancer, unable to just wipe the field. Razen, certainly a great way to have started all this. To get a decent field off of it, honestly. After that, play pass him. So just attaching an Xyz material here in the standby phase. Could still just attack twice. Kind of weird to see. The Rock of the Vanquisher on the field just sitting there in attack position in a main monster zone. Now we're going to activate Lunalight Wolf's effect. Sorry about the internet pops. I'm not in charge of the internet going out, and neither is the venue. We're just trying to do what we can. Crystal continuing the turn there, but it does look like we're going to see a Vanquish Soul Razen in defense mode. And since Razen was summoned and Baguska is in attack mode, that's helpful. We could actually resolve some effects. Was getting Baguska to attack mode all it took for David to be able to blow this duel wide open. Adds Vanquish Soul Holly Sue from the deck to the hand. I imagine we're immediately going to see it reveal alongside another Vanquish Soul monster. But before we do, activating the effect there of the Lunalight Tiger, we are going to reveal a Dark and a Fire, maybe to destroy all cards in the same column. SP Lunalight's chained. Getting rid of, honestly, an interesting choice. The Canine 66A Joe Cool and the SP Lunalight itself. Also going to go ahead and normal summon the Lunalight Kaleido check. During the next open game state, we will see Vanquish Soul Holly Sue reveal itself. Go ahead and showcase that Xiaolong for just a moment. Not trying to fill up all those spots. Doesn't reveal in such a way that the Xiaolong comes out. Instead going to showcase a Fire and a Dark to dig deep into the deck and grab another card. So now we'll see the reveal there of the Dr. Madlove. Draw a card off of the Heavy Borger effects. Kaleido Chick's effect's going to activate. Maybe it's time for Lunalight Wolf's effect now. Fusion Summon. Combining Kaleido Chick. Looks like Saber Dancer, Perfume Dancer, and Yellow Martin. 4 cards combined to make the mightiest fusion monster ever seen. Well, except the last time we saw it. It's a Lunalight Liger Dancer back in action again. Cannot activate that effect, though. Still have the Superstar Slayer Sky Crisis Typhon. 3,000 is an ugly number, but battle phase. We will clear out the Typhon. Then we'll send a Perfume Dancer now that we can activate the effects of monsters with 3,000 attack or higher. Attack with Liger Dancer twice, and that is the game. And there we go. So Crystal Obrega is our winner. In a moment, we'll get the interview here. Know we're having a little bit of internet difficulties. And so we will be doing our winner interview shortly. Crystal Obrega is the winner of that match. And we did have some spotty internet, but all you got to know is 2 Lunalight Liger dances can get it done. So David, sort of a steely duelist, but look at the smile finally appear on his face. After such a riveting duel like that, definitely a difficult one to get through. Vanquish Soul Canine had nothing to do with why that deck lost. It was more that Crystal Obrega's Lunalights just win. Ideally, the internet issues will resolve themselves, but we're recording this, so maybe you're watching this on a VOD later. Our deepest apologies to you, duelists. Pray to your favorite Egyptian god card, and hopefully that means it will be internet in full swing when that god card favors you and this stream. I mean, it ain't Sunday, but still a sunny day here in Pasadena as we enter round 5 of 8. There will be 3 more rounds after this. And, you know, clap once if you can hear me in the chat. Little hand emojis. Because we're still live. We're still out here. You can hear my voice. Just know one thing. It might be time to duel. David packing things up at his own pace, but Crystal going to get on out of here. And we will see her shortly on our coveted feature match desk here. Has been a wild day. We understand it's been a wild day. This has not been a normal Game Guys stream. But sometimes internet issues happen. And as we wait for our duelists to pack on up, got a wonderful seat here for a fabulous Lunalight duelist. Crystal, if you'll come on down, I'm just going to pass this off screen just like magic. And if you'll just have a seat here, put on your headphones so we can hear you. Talk about just the unbridled power of Lunalight Liger Dancer. I don't understand how that's a card, but maybe you could tell us all about that. If you'll just get that on.
Well, it's kind of, it's a really strong card.
It is the strongest card in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game, in my opinion. That is to say, unaffected by card effects. You get to use it with Baguska. Attack twice. Beautiful finish there, by the way, clearing out the Star Slayer. But is there anything Lunalight is afraid of right now?
Yeah, there actually is a deck that I lost to round 4. Shout out to Fritz for playing it. But there's one deck, which I won't say right now.
Okay.
Actually, no, I will. RB is like almost an unlosable matchup for the RB player.
Really? So what is it about RB and the big punches that get through Lunalight? Is it just it's bigger than you?
So RB has a couple like really interesting interactions. First off, their I guess like new spell that they got, it's called like RB like launching ground, I think. But it just cheats out at link 3, and so that's non-once per turn. All of the link 3s like gain attacked based on either like the attack of the monsters that they point to or the attack of all of the cards on the field.
Oh.
And so, all the cards on their side of the field. And then RB launching ground also has a hidden effect where it's destruction, like non-once per turn destruction protection. So if it's in the graveyard, it can banish kind of like Dingirsu, detaching to prevent the destruction protection. And so they can normally get at least like 2 of those in rotation, and so it's really easy for them to push through the board going second.
Just interesting to think about that if I'm going to be able to beat Lunalight. One of my best duelist friends is on Lunalight, and we just did a stream on Wednesday, and I just lost and I lost and I lost. So I very much respect the power of Lunalight Liger Dancer.
It's a really insane
But I got to play RB. Okay, I'll play RB. So we're playing pretty well so far, right? If I heard that right, it's 4-1 is the record right now.
Yeah.
Are we playing for the invite today?
No, I got my invite at the San Antonio Regional.
Oh, okay, so you're already doing good. Are we just kind of hanging out, just Lunalight stomping the other people?
Well, I wanted to see if I could like maybe top the regional, but I don't know. I just need Fritz to win out, and then hopefully that happens. But,
okay, good deal, good deal. Well, we still got some time, and I want to make sure you get to have a break here. Is there anybody you want to shout out at home?
Yeah, shout out to my girlfriend Seva. I love you. Thank you for like always supporting me and getting me back into the game. Shout out everyone in Austin for supporting me and like always giving me advice and like helping me. I just got back into the game last year, and so I feel like it's like been fun to relearn everything. Yeah, shout out all my friends. Love y'all. And yeah.
Well, good stuff, good stuff. With that said, are you playing at any future events? Because you said you just got back in the game. There's a lot of events coming up, whether it's other regionals or like a YCS, maybe Anaheim, Pittsburgh.
I'm not really planning to go to any of the upcoming YCSs. I would love to, but yeah, not at the moment. I feel like maybe in like a couple months I might, but yeah, not right now.
Well, there is that remote dual YCS at the end of the year. So if you want to play YCS caliber stuff, I think it's like in December, so it's a couple of months from now. But I have a funny feeling, based on the powerhouse we just saw just now, we will see you in the top cut, and we'll probably see you again too.
We'll see.
Hang in there. We'll let you get back to it.
Okay.
So have a good one. Speaking of which, we'll be right back after this. Towers for the win indeed, chat. Lunalight is an insane deck. Speaking of insane things, it has been kind of a rocky day today. As you notice, we've had some internet going in, we've had some internet not going out. But it looks like the internet is mostly working for now, but just in case something happens, we are actually recording this so we can go ahead and upload this as a VOD later. So if you're watching me on YouTube explain, well, you know what happened, right? But we still do have rounds 6, 7, and 8 for you. We've already got our feature matches already picked out, waiting just for our judges to grab those players, do stuff from our crowd cam. If you're just tuning in, you're like, what is going on? Well, there was an internet outage, and it was supposed to last till 5:30. It's 4 o'clock, so we got very lucky that we are back live already here. Speaking of here, welcome to the Game Guys Regional Championship. It is just another OTS doing some regional stuff. But as you notice, this is not a normal OTS. This is very like, there's like 100 game chairs for like the top cut. That's insane. There's a bunch of lounge chairs here for you to watch on a big, giant projector screen. Right now, technically me. But you could also be able to watch the actual duels and stuff and just hang out with duels. There's vendors here. There's other official tournament stores here. There's plenty of cool stuff. Why am I telling you all this? Because one day you may say, huh, I sure am in the greater Houston area. Where's Pasadena, Texas? That's where you want to be because the shop is just insane. There are judges who have traveled here from like the far reaches of Florida in order to come here just to be like, oh my gosh, this is what's going on. Interesting. Speaking of what's going on, we will be coming back in just a moment with our round 6 featured match. So 6, 7, 8. 8, we are always going to do the number 1 table in order to show you just what it is that's in this format. I know some of you guys are like preparing. You're like, okay, what am I going to run for YCS Anaheim? And then you look up there and you're like, oh, something that beats Lunalight. You might have heard Crystal earlier who said, hey, why don't we go ahead and rock out some stuff. Looks like our players are going to be Nelson, Caturiza, and Raven Robles, and they should be coming down this way soon, so it'll be neat to see. Are they here yet? No, they're not here yet. Okay, my bad, my bad. But we'll see them shortly as the players are dragged from their end over here. Looks like they are going to be here shortly, so I will go ahead and switch over there soon. Let's go ahead and switch on again so we can get some of our information updated so you can find out exactly who our duelists are. Need to go ahead and clear last round's information because we're in round 6 now. Beautiful round 6. And it is nice to have a little bit more information on the screen. Again, we have been taking your feedback into account and trying to make this an even better stream than it was before. It is hard. We've got a very limited staff. We don't have like the 40 people they have at a YCS. We got like 4 people if we're lucky, but we're trying. So you can make your jokes, man, but we would rather have you here helping us. So you know anything about production? Please come on down. Jokes aside, though, it looks like we are going to have, again, our players are Nelson Catuiza on the left and Raven Robles on the right. And I'm very curious to find out what they're playing. Although, man, that yummy field center, does that mean anything? Are they going to be playing it? Interesting. We had hoped to maybe get you some Genesis gameplay. We haven't had a chance to do that yet. If we do have an opportunity, we'll definitely do it because we want you to see Genesis. It's the brand new format where you kind of get to pick your own Forbidden Limited list based on an a la carte menu, right? Oh, I'll take 50 points here and 50 points there. Oh, no, I'm out of points. Well, I guess my 2 maxis are worth it, right? Right? But no maxi here as we're in the advanced format. Round 6. Raven gets ready to roll. Are those the special edition YCS dice? One of them appears to be a judge dice. I think the other is one of the... Is it the Divine Attribute dice? Guess I'll hold my horses as he holds his dice. The players ready to go. Here's we roll at 10. Big numbers. So, looks like Nelson is going to be on Draco Tail Canine. What? And his opponent will be on Yummy. So this is very much Justice Hunters 2.0. Using all the great support. And yeah, we're just going to Draco Tail 5 mana. Fusion Summon. The materials are Canine Isna and Draco Tail Molulu. We're going to make Arthalion. Who to guess? And so we're going to use Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. Targeting Molulu. Infinite impermanence on the Arthalion. So no recycling. We still get to do the other effects. So Molulu. No monsters to negate. But we do get to set the normal spell, Kitu Draco Tail. Certainly an interesting build to see Canine. I mean, Canine, they could go in any deck practically. Except a deck that's like, if you play no monsters this duel. Oh man, speaking of Canine though, let's go ahead and activate the Canine Jokul Lantern. Only viable because the Izuna is still in the graveyard. So we may get to see a rank 5 Xyz here. So targeting the Izuna. No DD Crow here. So Lantern, Izuna hitting the field. Attempting to activate the effect of Izuna, likely to send the 00 Lupus. He's no secret agent. He's just the secret powerhouse behind the Canine Patrol. Raven considering options. Doesn't want to get arrested for activating a monster effect in the hand or graveyard. Keep those cuffs to yourself. So Nelson's going to go ahead and get into the deck here. And drop down the Lupus. Beautiful collection, by the way. Starlight Rare Lupus. Take a brief look at the deck here. Going to go ahead and grab the Canine Forced Release. The Werewolf is coming. Lantern, very powerful card. They're just a powerful engine in general, while still technically being like its own deck. We are going to see K917 Ripper slam on down. Detaching a material. Goodbye, Izuna. And Nelson reaching back into the deck again. That Infinite Impermanence may have been the only piece of interaction that Raven had. Which means hopefully the rest of his hand is just able to play through this rapidly assembled field. Case for K9 also hitting the field as well. Nelson going back in. And just grabbing the Jokul. Is there a level 5 in hand? Could mean another Xyz monster out of the blue. Well, instead, we're going to use that material as a fusion material instead of an Xyz material. Activating out of Ketu Draco Tail. Oh, wow, but stopping that dead cold. Of course, the fusion summon wouldn't happen because, again, it would be searching first, right? But no monsters on the opponent's side of the field. Now we'll use the Orahu Draco Tail. Say goodbye to Jokul. And also Draco Tail Urgula. Dominus Purge, very powerful. Kind of flags down the Tron Yummy, right? Your Yummy field setter. The fact that you were willing to lock yourself out of Dark Fire Water. Light Winded Earth covers a lot of decks. Maybe you're running Radiant Typhoon. But in this format, I feel like when you see that, you're like, okay, I need to at least imagine that I'm getting set up for either Blue Eyes or Yummy. Blue Eyes is still pretty decent. I was just talking with the Duelist earlier. Rocking 3 Blue Eyes White Dragon, Kaiba Man the Legend, Dragon Master Magia. Still feels good in the deck, but Blue Eyes always has to adapt to the format. But speaking of adaptations, we did see the Draco Tail Gulamel here. Allowing for free pop, right? Just call it like the players call it. We'll use the effect of Urgula there, or excuse me, Urgula to the bottom of the deck for 5 mana to get back to the hands. Great way to set off the Gulamel. And pass turn. So Raven draws for turn. Looking at an Ash Blossom in hand. And not many other monsters. Gonna consider that first card carefully. Got to get into the duel somehow. In round 6, with only 2 more rounds after this, you want to preserve that record. You can't just concede. Looks like Lolipo Yummy Way Or should be Lollipo Yummy. Might be the first. Oh, does decide to concede. Packs it up. Nelson Catuiza, player 1, wins the first duel. Commentator's curse. I'm like, no, just keep your points. Protect yourself. But Nelson earning a start chip there. And Raven is going to have to figure out how to do things differently. Maybe just didn't want to reveal any information. Start off fresh without your opponent being able to side deck in advance, knowing which play him. You got to at least have an inkling, especially with the Draco Tails being backed up by Canines, and all your opponent does is a Dominus Purge. It's got to be some deck that fits within that strategy, although it could be Radiant Typhoon. Hey, wind. Haven't seen very many Song of the Dominators in the format yet. Cool card. I definitely think it's going places. But just hasn't happened yet. Still a lot of cool decks out there. Very curious as to what we'll see at YCS Anaheim. I was really hoping, because, when you're up here, you're like, okay, cool. Hopefully we get to see some really wide variety of decks. Great duels, great duelists important. We've had YCS champions, world championship competitors. There's been some great people up on stage this weekend. But a duelist could dream. And this duelist dreams of dooms. And you'd guess right, Devril. Did get to see a bird's eye view of some yummy cards in hand. Raven likely to go first this duel. And I already see some great starters there, but we're going to start off with Molcharmi Purulia. Do we do something to counter it? We don't. So one draw, but it's the man with the mark mixed in with Yummy. It is Earth. That does match up with the attributes for Dominus Purge, but I don't think we could expect this. Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring stops things. But now we're going to make Salamangreat Almirage. We'll special summon because there's a Link 1 monster on the field. Using the Lollipo to banish the Purulia. This should be returned to the deck. Except forget that it wasn't special summoned by the effect of a Synchro monster. And speaking of Synchros, time for a Linkro. As we combine the level 1 tutor, Salamangreat Almirage. Part of the pun, of course, using the monsters, the Yummy Way monsters. You could go ahead and actually use the Link 1 monster as a tutor, which is still astounding. What'll they come up with next? But focusing on the gameplay, we do see Cupsy Yummy Way search out a copy of Cookie Yummy and Cupsy Yummy from the deck to the hand. You do have to discard a card. The card to be discarded is deciding Cupsy Yummy. That parfait cup is empty. Now we do link off the Cupsy Yummy Way into Link 1 Yummy Snatchy, using that to get the field spell Yummy Musement Mignon. We'll use Mignon. Oh, but the DD Crow grabs the Lollipo Yummy before it even hits the field. Nothing can be done to stop it. Oh, but it was actually Cupsy Yummy. Excuse me, Cupsy Yummy. No refills here. So another summon from the hand and another draw. Raven just committed to trying to get into this duel. One from the extra deck, not too bad. Lollipo Yummy Way out here at a special summon 2 Lollipo style Yummies from the grave. What are we going to pick? We're going to pick... Oh, it's Isna. Stop in the name of the law. Going to go and tag out. Already picked our targets, so we're going to have plenty of Yummy monsters on the field between both effects of Lollipo Yummy Way. Looks like We're going to banish with another DD Crow. But we do get Lupus. Now we'll see the Yummy Snatchy and the Marshmallow Yummy. Met with Izana and Lupus. Our turn, right? Fighting game rules. We're both playing here. But Yummy hasn't done a lot on the featured match stage this weekend. Doesn't mean that Yummy duelists aren't going to win this tournament. But it does seem like with the one obedience schooled, it's kind of a different deck. So we do see Lupus activate its effect. Got to do it. Raven staring at the Forbidden Droplet. Knows he has to, just doesn't know how he's going to pay the cost. Maybe not. Are you going to let it resolve? Maybe let those monsters combine into one Xyz monster, and then you negate that. So the whole field cleared there. Valon, the Super Psy Sky Blaster Musketeer. Should I say that one more time with feeling? Valon, the Super Psy Sky Blaster. I was thinking Castell. How can you not, right? Bigger brother. Valon doing quite a bit. Rank 5 is feeling great right now. But we do have the Cookie Yummy Way appearing on the field there. Still have some decent cards. Not sure why we saved the Forbidden Droplet, but I guess we'll find out soon. Field relatively equalized. Judge just taking the time to clarify something, but doesn't seem to be fatal to the game state. Going to set the Forbidden Droplet. And going into sort of a back foot defense here. Obviously, the Cookie Yummy Way can tag itself out to bring out 2 Yummy monsters from the graveyard, and the graveyard is loaded. We are going to flip that face down by detaching the Izna. Now we just got a Forbidden Droplet. Decided he wanted to set it. Maybe saving it for this turn. No cards in hand. Oh, just one, okay. But Nelson may have checkmated this out. Valon switches to attack mode. Valon attacks the face down Cookie Yummy Way. And perhaps during the battle phase? No, we saved what was clearly a Vanquish Soul Holly Sue. Not going to jump into the battle phase, maybe save it for defensive plays. Normal summon of Cookie Yummy is fine. Attaching a material here. Looking to chain the Forbidden Droplet. Sending. Oh, wow. Verdict of Anubis. This is a very mixed bag of a deck here. But now we link summon into Yummy Snatchy, getting rid of our Cookie Yummy. Setting a card. Raven shakes his head. Did we miss something? Turn is not turning out the way we hoped it would. There's the handshake. Raven concedes. What an awfully fast round 6. Unfortunately, the man with the mark plus Yummy did not pay off this time. And Nelson Quattuiza is our winner. So a conservative series of plays from a controlling trap deck was no match for the awesome power of Canines mixed with Draco Tail. 2 powerful packages merged into one. Just decided not to do it, but cleaned out of there fast, by the way. Unfortunately, Raven is just already gone. Then in a moment, we will get to talk to Nelson about that, and we may get to feature some Genesis gameplay. So let me ask you, duelists, do you have any interest in me tracking down one of the public events, Genesis format, and getting them up on stream as we wait for our next round? Because if you do, fam, I will go drag them myself. But speaking of dragging, Our judge is about to drag Nelson out of there so we can have our winning interview.
You're gonna have me do your interview still first, and then I'm gonna come get you.
We won't know what Raven did. Raven is already gone. I don't see that red hat as far as the eye can see. One of the greatest things about Forbidden Droplet. Looks like our winner will be coming here shortly. But just didn't feel like it. Sometimes it happens. You play on tilt. Sometimes you know what? This isn't gonna happen. I'm just gonna go enjoy lunch break. But looks like Nelson is here to come join us. And so Nelson, if you'll just take a seat, put these headphones on. Right this way, your humble throne, if you'll come right here. Oh, yeah. They wouldn't hear you otherwise. And I don't know sign language.
For sure.
So, Canine Draco Tail, huh? It's a lot of power in one engine, and you just, like, got rid of that yummy like it didn't even exist. How have the matchups been so far today?
So far, my one loss was Lunalight. I just couldn't do anything. Went to game 3. It was a good game. And every other matchup has been Draco Tail. And I'm pretty confident in my Draco Tail matchup. So I kind of, like, built my deck specifically just to beat the mirror match and, like, yummy.
Makes sense. I noticed a lot of the pro players out there are converting into Draco Tail stands, so I do think that seeing a lot of Draco Tail and preparing for that makes sense. There's a lot of different Draco Tail combinations. Is the Canine just the backup, right? They just show up just to save the day?
Well, the main reason I'm doing Canine is because I like to facilitate having that Ripper to protect basically my Phimina, my Ketu, my Rahu, my Lucius, and then just being able to start that and then not really allowing your opponent to know what you're playing. So then once you commit all the Canine stuff, then you can go into the Draco Tail stuff, and then they're more thrown off.
Yeah, because when I was seeing it, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is just both the decks of the format at the same time. Be like if you're playing Tier Laments and Castor all at once. You mentioned Lunalight. Lunalight does feel kind of like a terror because Liger Dancer's just like, am I just supposed to main deck Kaijus, right? What do you do? Is there anything you feel like you could have thrown into the deck, into the pile that it is, that kind of insulates you? Or are you still trying to workshop how you get around the Lunalight?
Well, for Lunalight, actually, game 3, I sighted in to where I had like 20 hand traps.
Okay, that'll help, yeah.
And I only drew 1. So I put the cards in, they just didn't come to me.
That's fair, that's
What
fair.
it is. But he was a great guy. I love that guy. He was a great opponent.
So, are we playing for an invite today?
I already have my invite.
Okay, so we're just kind of hanging out, just seeing what works?
Yeah, like I got my invite last Houston Regional, and then this time I'm just trying to do better than I did last time. That's
Well,
all.
that makes sense, makes sense. Are we traveling to any upcoming YCSs? There's a couple on the schedule.
I have to check with my wife because
fair.
we have a new baby, so I got to see.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I got to see where exactly I'm at on, available time. But
That's fair.
I'd like to.
We got Anaheim next week, maybe not that one.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, I want to say, is like November 10th. But here's the good news for aspiring fathers like yourself. There's a remote duel YCS in December.
Oh, okay.
So, you could be like, okay, if you could just put the baby right in front of me, I will just duel with my eyes over here. Kid's fine. I know my combos by heart. Well, speaking of family, is there anybody you want to give a shout out back at home?
Oh, yeah, man. Shout out my wife. Shout out my son, my wife Janine, my son Oliver. And shout out my YouTube, Yada TCG. I basically divulged my entire deck the day before. And actually did a whole bunch of like combo lines showing exactly what the deck can do.
Ooh, okay.
And,
so if people want to practice for Anaheim, they just go watch that video,
just
right?
Watch the YouTube, man. Watch the YouTube.
Nice. Well, speaking of watching YouTube, we'll go ahead and let you get back so you can go enjoy yourself a little bit since there is about, like, it looks like 40 minutes left on the round.
Yeah.
We're going to see if we can't get some Genesis gameplay since you
there we
just
go.
destroyed your opponent so fast.
Oh,
Sorry,
I
opponent.
wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I just opened really well, and unfortunately, he didn't.
It did look like Raven had just kind of been like, there's no way. Dude, just take it. It's fine. It's fine. Well, good news for you, man, and good news for Duelist because we'll be back before you know it. Take care.
Later.
Hey, duelists, I regret to inform you they have not fired the Genesis public event yet, so can't get you the Genesis gameplay. But we can just, like, spiel about Genesis for, like, just a second because the format really came alive. Here, let me just get rid of this other chair since it's just you and me, chat. Genesis, if you haven't heard about it, is the brand new format in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game that's almost like a fan format by fans for fans. The rules are pretty simple, but I'll go over them just so you can remember. No lake monsters, no pendulum monsters, no forbidden and limited list, other than, I guess, no lake monsters and no pendulum monsters. And that does include, like, ritual pendulums, fusion pendulums, anything that's got green on the bottom half, not here. But instead of a forbidden and limited list, there is a point cost 2 cards. And most Genesis tournaments are going to have a 100-point cap at the YCS level. There will be YCS invitationals at the YCS. This is literally coming up next week. So if you're at YCS Anaheim, take notes, build that deck, because the pricing is incredible. So if you enter the 16-person the 16-person like flight for Genesis, if you're first place or second place, you just get a Starlight Rare from old Starlight Rares. So not new Starlight Rares that are printed, you know, relatively more so than we've seen from historic Starlight Rares, but like possibly the old school stuff. There's no details on it yet, but we'll find out next week on which those Starlight Rares are. That's exciting. The other thing is, first place goes and gets that Starlight Rare, but both first place and second place go to the Invitational on Sunday. The Invitational is just going to be however many people are there. First place of the Invitational is a giant card, Pot of Greed, is my understanding, and a 2009 Shonen Jump Championship. I believe it's Dark End Dragon, not a reprint. They just had some, and they're like, oh, this is a cool old school format. Here's your 2009 card, as if you jumped in a time machine and went back. So that's incredible, too. There also is going to be legit a Genesis YCS. So that's not something you see every day. That's like an alt format YCS. We haven't had one of those since the Battle Pack YCSs, YCS Sheffield in the United Kingdom, and YCS San Diego. So it's been a while before we've actually had like one of these alt format things, but it is popping off on the internet. It's not popping off here. Big sad. But I do think we're going to see quite the format sort of burgeoning out because we're seeing it on content creator channels. We have seen locals, you know, your official tournament store has been running some of those. Here, I think everybody's just focused on the advanced format because that was today's main event, but we did have the materials in order to run some Genesis Winamats, and we are hoping to get some Genesis stuff. If it's not today, then we'll be seeing it at the YCS next week. Certainly hope that we get to talk about it more because it's just a really crazy format. Take a look at the chat. You know, everybody's saying refreshing format, which is really neat. It is a great way to kind of be in touch with modern Yu-Gi-Oh! I absolutely agree with you there. And what I love about the format is, you know, if you spend your points on saying, no, I don't want you to play, so things like Infinite Permanence, Ash Blossom Majora's Spring, stuff like that, then you don't have, like, power cards that say, yes, I'm going to play. Or if everybody's playing really cool power cards, nobody is saying no, so, like, effects resolve. I did play some Genesis games on my own stream, on my own channel this week, and my friend was just playing Lunalight, and I couldn't get through it. So it's not a joke format like real decks. Real decks work, and so you do have to strategize what you're going to use. I'm starting to play some controlling trap decks because maybe I ended up getting punched in the face too many times at Lunalight Liger Dancer. But, for example, there's so many powerful cards. Mystic Mind is allowed, but you can only play one in a 100-point format because it's 100 points. And there's a lot of cool stuff out there, so hopefully everybody has some sort of crazy deck that they want. Different than Time Wizard. I'm not saying anything bad about Time Wizard because I played through every Time Wizard format because I played since this game came out in 2002 March. Grandpa's getting old. But jokes aside, it's cool because it's like your deck. You get to do whatever you want. Because there's some people that are like, I don't care about what you were doing in Yu-Gi-Oh! In 2005. That's okay. They might say, you know what? I don't care what you were doing in 2010 or 2014 or 2018 or any of the other popular Time Wizard formats. They're like, I want to show you my cards. If you want to play your cards, cool, because that's what Genesis is all about. So that's exciting. And as we continue into the coming weeks, they did say they're going to have a presence at those YCSs. So I hope that people are competing because it's a 2009 Shonen Jump Championship card. That's insane. That's just like, yeah, we're just going to reach into 16 years ago, and here's your prize card, sir. So just bonkers, insane. And you get to run like some really fun stuff. Last term, 75 points. I want to run it with Illusion Chimera. And it can't run at full power Illusion Chimera because I want to say Cornfield Coatl, the targeting negate from the graveyard and the search, is 33 points. So my plan, though, is drop the Cornfield Coatls, run one last turn, and try to get out Nightmare Magician. Because everyone tries to stop their opponent from summoning or battling. So much funnier to just let them summon, and then when they go for the attack, destroy. There's some fun combos. They do have some rulings actually already on the Genesis TCG blog. Just type that in, Genesis Yu-Gi-Oh! Blog, and then bop, you'll get yourself over there. Some really interesting, very direct points of communication from Konami, the likes of which we just have not seen. There's a blog, and I kid you not, Konami, and the voice of Konami is just like, sounds like a skill issue. Sorry, I just had a seizure. Konami said skill issue, and that is not something we get to see every day. So that is really, really exciting to have direct communication. They updated the format on day 2 with some points adjustments, so it shows they're really, really interested in. It's going to be usual adjustments for about 4 to 6 weeks. So hopefully you guys are interested because I know I am for certain here. But it is a really cool way. It's a great way to jump back into Yu-Gi-Oh! Maybe you got a friend who's like, man, I quit when they banned this card. Cool, you can play that card. I quit because pendulums and links were too complicated for me. Well, I'll teach you pendulums and links, friend, but here is a format you can play without them. And even decks that, like, you wouldn't expect to be in Genesis or in Genesis. You can play Malice. All the cards are at 0 points because there's no link monsters, and it locks you into link monsters. That's weird, but it sure is a cyber spam engine. That could be cool. Maybe you've got some other types of weird, monsters you want to do, like a Cyber's Ritual deck that's powered by Malice. Sky's the limit, fam. So I'm really excited to see those next week. I actually am going to be at YCS Anaheim, so I guess I need to get on the plane in like 5 days. 5 days until I get to the Genesis capital of the world. And hopefully we do get to see it. I know that Europe, if you're joining us, maybe you just got off of YCS Lille stream. Europe should be starting Genesis at the YCS level at YCS Bologna in Italy. So I think that's Italy. I need to check a map. But again, this is just really neat. I've seen people in the OCG say, like, when are we going to get Genesis? I've seen people say, add Genesis to Neuron, add Genesis to Master Duel. That's dope. The fact that there's a new fan format, you guys are excited. Konami is communicating in a way, again, I've never seen before. It's different. It's very exciting. It's an exciting time to be a duelist. Speaking of exciting times, we still have a little bit of time left before we go to our next round, so do bear with us. But once we are done, we'll go ahead and just jump back into the next round. It is going to be round 7 and 8. We got 2 more rounds. Round 7 should be a bubble match, and then round 8 will just be whoever is at the #1 top table. Again, thank you so much for your patience. We know we've had some technical difficulties today. But we make this stream for you, so we just want to make you happy. So let us know any feedback you have, anything. We will do our best to make it happen. And until then, stay put because we'll be back before you know it.
That's what I do. And then I'm gonna rip. Oh yeah, and then like if you have I call it spells or traps, depending on what the trap does. And then yeah, if you have any spells on the field or in your hand, and for the next 3 turns that you draw, they'll be destroyed. So you're pretty much not gonna play. Nah, you're good.
All right, duelists, we got a real treat for you because we didn't have anybody independently sign up for our feature match, so we chose the #1 table. We're going to see a repeat duelist because Pascal has battled his way back up with Momento. His opponent, we're not sure what deck he's playing yet, but we'll find out soon enough. But that means we're just going to have back-to-back just good Yu-Gi-Oh! Because, again, table 1 now, table 1 next round, just to find out and track down who are the best of brightest duels. We may even have somebody on the feature match technically back-to-back depending on their winning record, because if you're at table 1 and you win, you're probably going to be back at table 1. So this is almost like our own little semi-finals leading into the actual finals. We didn't get to bring any Genesis gameplay, unfortunately. I did see some cool deck lists out there. Actually, let me just read you what's going on in Genesis now as I snapped up some of the deck lists. Oh, but if the event fires, then I'm revealing public information. We'll do it at the end of the tournament. Maybe not. But there is some really cool stuff out there. And big shout out to the people who within 5 days were already ready to show up at a venue ready to do that. I just realized, I'm like, wait, Yu-Gi-Oh! Judge Brain. We don't reveal private knowledge. So don't do that. So my apologies for getting excited. Hopefully you'll get to see some Genesis gameplay soon, whether it's at your official tournament store or maybe we get to broadcast some of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Championship Series. We did used to put a Rivalry of Warlords match up there every now and again. And to find out that Rivalry of Warlords felt like the beta test for Genesis because all the decks were compatible in that system. I didn't know that. I didn't know when I was resolving Pot of Greed. I was like, oh, I'm testing resolving Pot of Greed for the future. Very excited, though, to see whatever it is that Pascal goes up against. If you're like, who is Pascal, Pharoahmone? Pascal is the YCS Houston champion. A YCS champion is incredible to have, but he's also a local legend because he's from right here in the greater Houston area. And was playing just Momento like a beast. So it'll be nice to see him just rock out the deck. We interviewed him earlier. And he said that, like, I just like playing a deck, when you space yourself out around, like, 5 decks. It just doesn't feel like you know what your strategy is supposed to do. But he definitely knows what he's doing because he's won a YCS with the deck, and he just keeps on going strong. We did see his Canine Ripper kind of insulate those plays, so maybe we will see the same here. But yeah, we're just kind of hanging out again. If you're jumping off of a YCS Leel stream just to hang out with us, cool. If you are maybe just doing the Duelist Cup in the background, maybe a digital Duels on Master Duel, equally cool. Just going to double check to make sure we're not sleeping here on the job. I don't think we've got both Duelists at the ready yet. Nope, just one of them. But we will leave this camera on as we wait for our Duelist to arrive. And get that information on the screen. Looks like it's going to be Javon Payne versus Pascal Magnigat. Top tables. Now, looks like Javon feeling good. Just hanging out, waiting for his opponent to come back. Hanging out with the judge. That's who he's talking to off screen. But quite the matchup. Pascal really doing this, man. He is 7-0 with Momento. And it looks like Pascal is approaching the featured match area now. Should be here in 3, 2, 1, and there he is. Okay, my count was just a little off. So we do have all right, looks like we are working out stuff behind the scenes, but we're going to roll. Got a 9 there. And so Javon Payne going to be going up against, again, Pascal Magnigat. Big brother with the SJC win. Trying to chase down a regional win here. This may just be the Pascal show starring Pascal if he wins back-to-back games here. So round 7, as we continue. Duelists go ahead and present and cut each other's decks. Javon seems like he's having a good time. And Pascal just got to chill. Some duelists, they're just like, wow, I'm here to duel. And others are like, yeah, it's fine, man. Yeah, results. It's cool. We're going to start off with a Mulcharmi Fuwalos there. Looks like Javon going first then. Unless that's a setup for sort of oppressing your opponent's canines. Was that a pass? Yeah, and it was. So, drawing for turn. It looks like that's in the field spell slot. But we are going to go ahead and discard our own Mulch Army for Wallace. And we're going to go ahead and send to the graveyard 5 levels worth. Which looks like 4. Could have said 5, but instead it's Memmentotlan Mace, Memmentotlan Goblin, and Memmentotlan Gaddock. Gaddock sent to the graveyard. Back to special summon itself to the field. So, gonna get that Goblin. But before we do, Bestial Magnemite dropping down. So maybe we got ourselves a Draco Tail deck. Oh, now we get to see it's Bestial Malice. So Malice still making it. As we see Malice in the mirror. Dotscaper. And of course, Bestial Druisworm. Gonna go and send the Druisworm back to the deck. It'll probably get searched back out. Knowing how good Bestial Magnemite's effect is. Are going to go ahead and destroy Gaddock. I'm curious if we're just going to bring out another Goblin, although most people do not run 2 Goblins. So we're going to go ahead and bring back the Mace, destroy the Mace, use it to search out another Memento card. That's going to be Memmentotlan Fusion. You know how strong that spell can be. Got a full look at the hand here, so Pascal knows he can play without really much punishing happening here. So, take a look at Pascal's deck list here. He really has a high ceiling of Memento monsters that he can go ahead and bring out here. But he's kind of thinking what he's going to use with the Memmentotlan Fusion. And so the materials are going to be these 3 shuffled back in the deck, and I see why he was pensive about that. That does hurt to remove so many different names. Creation King able to put those back into the graveyard. Or at least different names. So Pascal going to grab Tekutlika. Got to get it there somehow. But for the other 2 names, so we do send Goblin to the grave as long as a Creation King. Creation King immediately banished to go ahead and grab Memento Mictlan. All right, so Akihiron and Sleepy hitting the grave. Now we're going to go ahead and destroy that Goblin. We got it back one way or the other, allowing 2 more Memento monsters to hit the graveyard, this time in Memmentotlan Anguish. And also Memento and Darkblade. Akihiron similarly destroying itself. Had a Memento-free graveyard. Now we have a Memento-filled graveyard. We use that to grab out our Memento Fusion. Akihiron is thinking about popping on the graveyard, but that's enough. Javon goes ahead and concedes, knowing that all that power is coming his way, and with no cards to speak up on the field, there's not really a lot to resist there. So Pascal winning game 1. So now it's side deck time. We've seen some interesting choices presented before. But really the main deck is what's so wild. Again, you know, just seeing pure Memento here, just getting it done at this level of play. Round 7. Memento's still good. Javon, we didn't get to see too much what he had going on under the hood. We know it's Bestial Malice. Didn't see a single Malice name, though, unfortunately. Just Bestials as far as the eye could see. Now, pretty easy side decking against Malice. But with Malice not as prevalent in the format, the question is, are people really still running Artifact Lancia in their extra deck? There's going to be side deck. The #1 played card, by the way, at YCS Orlando at the beginning of this year, Artifact Lancia. Shows you how far we've come since then. Malice certainly a terror on Master Duel. But now just kind of a fair deck. And a lot of decks are like that. Terrors of their time. Proud, proven, professional. But eventually they, well, either fall out of fancy, they become fair from adjustments to Forbidden Limited List, and some duelists don't want to duel with a fair deck. They want to duel with absolute power. Force. All right, box jokes aside, looks like we're about to get back in the swing of things as Pascal takes one last check of the side deck. And no, okay, maybe he did miss something. Wants to try again. So Pascal still in this 3-minute side deck window. Don't worry. Got a judge right there. But it looks like he figured it out. Shuffling the deck up one last time. Going to count it out. Certainly not a prohibited shuffle, but the community has thoughts about the pile shuffle, that's for sure. But as long as you're keeping things moving, you are A-okay. All right, let's go and cut the decks. Get back in the swing of things. Javon getting another chance to go first here, but it was enough to slow down Pascal. Well, we'll have to see. Can Mr. Payne bring the pain? Well, he's going to start by setting a card. Normal summoning, Malice P. Chessy Cat. Sort of telegraphing to the opponent, don't interact with me. I've got what I need. Going to go ahead and banish a draw 2. And the banish card. Did not quite see it, but we are going to pay 300 life points here. To maybe that was Malice March Hare being added back to the hand. Seems like it. Since we didn't see a monster on the field nor any interaction. We do link off the Malice P. Chessy Cat into Lingaribo. Sort of an installation protection against trap cards. And that could be threatening, right? Infinite permanence. So we are going to banish the Malice P Chessy Cat. Pay another 300. It was, in fact, a Malice P Marchair. But now our first Link 3, no longer using Splash Mage combos. We just got to go straight into Red Ransom, the Malice Queen. Using its effect to search out a spell card, we grab Malice and Underground from the deck. Standard Malice plays here. Pascal, not really doing a whole lot here. Maybe didn't draw the artifact Lancia if he, in fact, had them in his side deck. But I'm sure he wish he did, as Gold Sarcophagus is going to banish a Malice card from the deck. I would imagine it would be Dormouse at this juncture as we pay another 300 life points. We haven't seen the White Rabbit, so it isn't another additional body. So we do see the Dormouse. Dormouse is going to go ahead and grab out, banishing another Malice monster. It's got to be the White Rabbit. Javon glued to his notepad there as he correctly writes out those life points. There's the White Rabbit. Grabbing another trap card here. Could be a nice time for Nibiru with Primal Being. Most of the Malice monsters are already using their effects. Going to go ahead and set the Malice GWC06. Maybe bring back some Malice monsters later. But now we're going to do either a Link 4 or Link 2. And it's actually going to be Cyber's Wicked. A lot of life points gone. But we do bring back the backup Adagnister. Oh, this is table 1, Deveril. This is undefeated duelists. So undefeated Malice versus undefeated Memento. And we're going to do table 1 right after this. So we'll probably see one of these two duelists again. Unless heaven help them, they have a double loss. Seems unlikely, as we have about 35 minutes left on the clock so far. So Red Ransom's back. And we are going to go ahead and use the effect here of our backup Adagnister. And just discarding the backup Adagnister to pay the 900 life points to use the effect of Malice Q, Red Ransom, to banish Dotscaper, to bring out Dotscaper once per duel. So just a great Malice climb here. None of these Malice cards showed up for Javon last turn, or I should say last duel. It was only a turn though. But now we've got Heart Scriptor on the field. And looks like we're going to do our Link 3 here. 2 off the Cyber's Wicked. And using the entire Heart Scriptor as 1. Going to go ahead and use the White Binder's effect to banish 3 cards. And imagine we're going towards an Allied Code Talker Adagnister. Feels like it would be powerful here, but Javon being the Malice Master, I'll let him do the talking here with his cards. Taking even more life point damage here, but with new time rules, the only life points that matter are the last ones before they go to 0. So we get Malice Q, Heart Scriptor on the field. All 3 Malice monster Link monsters here. We will go ahead and activate the TB11. So we're going to add, we could banish, but there's no cards on the opponent's side of the field here. Bringing out a Chessy Cat in defense mode, maybe just burning it off, paying another 900 life points. Duelist, please. What a setup, though. Everything coming up his way. So now we'll link off Malice P. Chessy Cat and the Heart Scriptor. Pascal checks his hand briefly, but now's Firewall Dragon, co-link there. Nothing like a little bit more bounce there. Returning cards from either the field or graveyard to the hand. Equal to the number of co-links, a terror in various formats, but right now, sort of just a Malice assistant. Do see our Wizard Adagnister. Gonna link summon off these monsters. I think this is definitely going to be the Allied Code Talker Adagnister. The materials are right. And there it is, the biggest boss monster in Master Duel and sometimes the TCG. Co-linking that Firewall Dragon 3 times. Take that, Dracotel Arthalion. Now, since we're back, we're going to go and set that TB11 again. Still haven't used the GWC06. Now we use Allure of Darkness. Draw 2. Just going through the full setup here. Javon smiling and Pascal having a laugh too. Like, man, that's some good dueling. Unless it's another Allure of Darkness. Gonna go and banish another card here. Setting. Now we've got 4 cards. One of those has got to be Malice in the Mirror. And it looks like Pascal finally gets his turn, draws. Let's see what he does. He's going to start with Memento Tatsuno Toshigo. Any response here? We know most of the cards set. I have a sneaking suspicion one of them is a quick play spell card, though. But we got GWC06. We got TB11. We are going to see the Ash Blossom in Joyous Spring in response to the Tatsuno Toshigo, but then chaining the Bone Party, it doesn't necessarily do anything because remember, Ash Blossom negates the effect, not the monster. But we will see the Allied Code Talker Adagnister go ahead and negate and banish the Memetotlan Bone Party, which is relevant because Memento Mikla on the field spell could set it during the end phase face down. I think I saw a Malice in the Mirror. It's definitely a trap card at the very bottom. Wonder if it's a Dominus Impulse. We do see Sleepy, and I think that's going to be a Dominus Impulse right there. Oh, no. Actually, it's Dimensional Barrier, and that's enough. Look at that smile from Pascal. All Link monsters, no fusions, and Pascal's like, oh. Well, I got Nick C's, but maybe not right now. So we're going to game 3 as Javon wins game 2. Each of them with a star chip to their name. But you need 2 star chips to move forward. Plenty of time left on the clock, about 25 minutes left. And just some great Malice gameplay. If you're a Cyburst enthusiast, everyone's like, man, I don't play Malice anymore. As a reminder, it can still get you this far into a tournament undefeated. Maybe Malice is still the quote-unquote best deck. Although I've never seen a deck win a tournament. Only a duelist. All right, vaudeville, grandpa-style jokes aside. Now Pascal's got to consider some side deck options. Javon got to go first twice, but Pascal winning that game means on the final set here, he gets to go first, and that could be huge for Memento depending on what it is that Javon's piling up. He smiles to the self, a little giggle and a head nod as he talks to his opponent, setting down what appears to be 2 cards from the side deck. But what an absolute joy of a weekend to see these 2 duelists just going at it amidst all the other great competitors we've had. A YCS champion going against a local legend of a Malice master. And he lives up to his name. That was just some good malicing. Just perform those sort of freestyle combos over and over. I do love that about Malice. There's no one right way to victory. Somebody throws a curveball at you, you just dodge to the left and perform a different Malice combo. As long as there's no Artifact Lancia. But there's a high likelihood whoever wins this duel, we're going to see him again in the next featured match. Certainly a good time here, game guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. We know we had some technical difficulties. We're sorry, chat. We're so sorry. If we can make all those technical difficulties go away. like me trying to say the word technical difficulty. We promised you we would. One last pile shuffle. Plenty of time left. Shuffle as much as you want. Because we got ourselves a match as we go into game 3 here shortly. Now, if you're sad that we're only going to have 8 rounds today, which means we're only having 1 round left, don't worry, because at about 3 a.m. Texas time, it'll be about, well, 10 a.m. France time. French time? France time? Who knows? But that means you'll get to watch YCS Lille Day 2. But if you wanted more American Yu-Gi-Oh!, then you can check out YCS Anaheim next week, and you may hear a familiar voice. And if you don't want to hear my familiar voice, well, just skip every round. All right. Jokes aside, Pascal normal summons Memetotlan Darkblade on this round 7 of 8. And Shane Mulcharmy Fualos. Pascal's got to consider there's a lot of special summoning from the deck and extra deck. Does he just slow things down? That's a big think. They are firing the Genesis tournament, I just heard. Oh, but Infinite Impermanence. Not going to let it happen. That's a decision I am taking from you. Unless you want to use Memetotlan Bone Party. You could just add the Memento monster from your deck to your hand, even though you use the normal summon. That could be a Tatsuno Toshigo. And it seems like we're going to use Goblin Biker Grand Entrance instead. Which is interesting, by the way. What? What? Are we really doing this? La Cucaracha has appeared. Wow. Using the C to banish cards because your opponent activated a spell card that includes a special summon when you're playing a Malice deck. That feels pretty good. Wow, that's going to be difficult. Each of those monsters just banish instead of being sent to the graveyard. Has Pascal finally met his match? Will Javon topple the YCS champion using not a Cyberse monster, but just a sneaky little C? Pascal stunted by this. Stumped. Just unsure of where to go next. Totally taken for a loop here. Does he chain anything? It's going to be strange to see what he gets. But he does go in. No further cards or effects activated. And so we're going to bring out Anguish here. Interesting. So Anguish effect activates. Pascal taking a moment to think. Where do we go next? I mean, this was quite the unusual situation. But we are going to see from the Anguish a search of the Memetotlan Tatsuno Toshigo. That's just fancy language for Seahorse. Did you know, in Japan, in the OCG, the name is Memetotlan Shiholzu. Now, we saw that brief flash. Don't worry, there was no winner here. Sorry, a little production error. But we do have Gold Sarcophagus. Just completely slowed down with a single monster in defense mode. That face-down card is the difference between Pascal hanging on to this duel or not. So we do see Malice, P. Dormouse, banished from the Gold Sarcophagus, special summon back out. It is going to be a chain of a Memetotling Bone Party. And that's it. Pascal concedes the duel, and Javon is your winner. The YCS champion has been toppled by the Malice monster or a simple insect. Somewhere Weevil Underwood is smiling as brightly as Javon is, and we'll get to hear from our new hero. As the tournament's fate has changed, Pascal not here to win the regional afterworld. Instead, Javon gonna make it. Wow, just some incredible stuff here. Checks himself the winner, signs that slip. And we're gonna talk to Javon about Malice. Malice could still get it. Because again, I can't believe my eyes. What an incredible way to slice and dice through your opponent. Certainly some great stuff there. And just push Pascal to the limit. Javon, just good stuff. Good stuff. So in a second here, we will be seeing Javon up here on our featured match desk. Just talking about it. Because, man, Malice, that's incredible, which means there's a high percentage that we're just going to see Malice in the finals against something. Now, we're not going to play Top Cut Out on stream that I know of. Maybe we are going to play Top Cut Out on stream. We'll find out. In fact, I'm going to find out. All right. The Malice Master come right this way. Because I cannot believe my eyes. I don't know about you, chat. I'm going to go ahead and just magically make the deck list disappear. And yeah, come on down. This throne is for you. Have a seat. Go ahead and put on your headset so they can hear you because, wow. Didn't realize that the best Malice monster was an insect.
An insect?
So yeah, that C showing up in response to that special summon card, just so powerful. But let's wind it all back. A lot of people have gotten off Malice. Why are you still on it?
That was my gamble this
Okay.
weekend. I was expecting no one to be on Lancia. So I'm playing like really ignorant. I'm playing like Thriller. I also went back to the roots where
Yeah.
like I'm playing Dotscaper.
I
and
saw the
CB11.
Dotscaper, yeah, and I saw
Yes.
the Bestials too. So Malice is something near and dear to my heart. I don't play it, but in the Team YCS earlier this year, it was in Malice at its full power, and so one of my buddies was on Malice, and he always lost the Artifact Lancia minigame.
Yes.
Are you finding that Artifact Lancia is just gone?
I got hit with it one time.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily enough, it was a Dracotel, and I just set the barrier, and he passed it back to me.
Oh, wow. Okay. So good stuff. So here's the thing. Usually our tradition at the end of any Game Guys Regional in the last round, which is next round, is to put the #1 table up on the featured match,
Yes.
which may literally be you in next round.
Oh yeah.
So if there's any deck you're like, please, Raw, Slifer, Obelisk, don't put this deck in front of me, who do you hope your opponent is not?
I hope it's not RB
Okay.
because I do not want to read those cards.
That you're the second duelist to be like, I don't want to play against
Yes,
RB.
and I keep seeing RB, and they just like flood their field. And I know if I interact with anything, it's probably not going to be good because I don't know what they do.
That's fair. That's fair. In a nutshell, they point to stuff, and what they point to makes them bigger or more powerful.
Yes.
So just look at your links. But speaking of links, the link climbing you did was so beautiful. Obviously, that first game didn't go well, but once you got to have that game too, everything went perfect. Have you been playing Malice since it came out in Crossover Breakers, or is this kind of like a recent love affair?
Yes, and I was on live stream like when Alliance first came out.
Oh, wow.
and
Yeah.
I played terrible. Like I looked at a Lucas Sacco video.
Yeah.
Like right here at the regionals.
Oh my goodness, it has
And-
been a while, hasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I just follow this combo, and I should be good. And I didn't play during Dragon Ruler format, and I banished his Dragon Rulers.
Oh,
I
okay,
did
that's
his
fair.
job for
Yeah,
him.
that's
Uh-huh.
right. I do remember that duel.
I was like,
It's okay. We'll just leave that VOD somewhere else. We'll just
Oh, yeah.
unpublish. But that's really cool. Are you playing for your invite today?
No, I'm just
Just
I'm
doing it if
just
Malice
trolling.
can still get
at
it?
this, yeah, at this point, I'm just trolling.
Any upcoming YCSs that you want to take Malice to?
I don't know. Next week I'm going to YCS Anaheim.
Okay, see you there.
However, if like they see my deck list, they're gonna be like, "Oh my God, we gotta put Lancia back." And if they do that, like my whole strategy is cooked.
So, get this, you may not know this very weird and specific
Yes.
statistic. When Malice was at its peak,
Yes.
the #1 played card was not Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. It was YCS Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
The #1 played card was Artifact Lancia. So, if word gets out, yeah, it could happen. But,
Yes.
like, you just gotta have to play through it. So, have you considered anything to,
Oh,
like,
no.
play around
Oh,
that?
oh.
Do you have, like, Lancia lines?
There is a line if you play the Sky Striker engine.
Mm-hmm.
However, I was playing Ignorant today
Yeah.
because I usually put the Striker engine in. I did not put it in because I was like, you know what, no one's playing Lancia, so I'm just gonna play Ignorant.
Just be brave and bold
Yes.
and just go in there.
Just go full combo.
Well,
Listen,
That's crazy. We may see you up here again,
Mm-hmm.
but we may also not. So before you never see this hollow desk again, do you want to give any shout outs to your friends back home? Lucas Sacco or whoever?
Lucas Sacco.
Hey.
Oh, I love Pac. But my friends at Lafayette, Anubis, hi, and Angel Sakairos.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, that said, you still got some time, so we'll let you recuperate because there is a very real possibility you'll be back up here. But thank you again for playing, and good on you. It's one of those things where a lot of duelists, they'll have like a bad time with the deck, and they'll get discouraged and never want to play it again. You not only had a bad time with the deck, you had to watch somebody vivisect your gameplay on YouTube, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to get good. And you did. So nice stuff, nice stuff. That said, speaking of nice stuff, we'll be back with round 8, possibly with Javon here. But don't go away. We'll be back as soon as we can.
good thing I like Crazy Moon.
Hey, duelists, we promised you a Table 1 final duel, and we are gonna pay up. Been an incredible ride so far, especially that last round. Did not know Malice could still do things like that. And speaking of which, we're gonna go ahead and switch over. It's our #1 table for our last round. Thank you so much. It's been a wild and crazy day. We know there's been some technical issues, but you can still find the earlier gameplay from our other rounds, rounds 1, 2, 3. A little bit of 4 got cut off, but it is going to be on the VODs on this channel. Thank you so much for watching. We're not going anywhere just yet, so why don't we go and switch over to our duelists who are just going through. We do have Javon back, and we'll find out his opponent soon. Although maybe somebody should tell him that his phone is completely visible on screen, because I don't think he is aware that, I mean, he's not doing anything weird. He just, you know, scroll through his feed. Backed it up. He's good. He's good. We did fire our Genesis tournament, by the way. It only just got started, so we won't be able to showcase it, but still some really cool stuff and some very interesting decks. Are they playing? Am I allowed to say? Yeah, okay, they are playing. So in Genesis, I saw things like Radiant Typhoon, which is really cool. We also got to see some, take a look at the deck list here, Dragon Rulers, that's neat, as well as appears there's some other great stuff over there. There's some Regenesis Dogmatica that made it, some Tritron, as well as, take a look here, Voiceless Voice. So really interesting stuff actually showing up in Genesis. Format is still young. We do have some good stuff happening here soon because, again, this is Table 1 of the final round, Round 8. All right, looks like player 2, Joey Lynch, is going to be going first in this duel.
We're going to go ahead and start. Go ahead.
And let's see what he's playing, because we know Javon's on Malice. Starting off with Sky Striker Maneuver Hornet Drones. So Hornet Drones, going to go down there. This could be a yummy deck. Could be a Sky Striker deck. What format is this? All right, Sky Striker Ace Kagari going to add the Hornet Drones back to the hand. Play Hornet Drones again. Make that token once more. Habakiri. Going to go ahead and reveal the Habakiri. Gives Javon kind of a question there. You're going to try to stop this stuff now, but it looks like we're seeing Sky Striker Mitsurugi versus Malice in the finals. Is this just the NAWCQ? Duelists, what is going on? What month of the year is this? Well, Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring is going to stop that Mitsurugi no Mikoto Saji. No searches here. This is round 8. This is the final round. But play continuing here. Looks like we are going to get a Mitsurugi Prayer after all. And use that to go ahead and get our Amenokuro no Mitsurugi. Can't believe these are the 2 decks that made it to the finals. And yet here we are. So Dominus Impulse stopping things. All right, there we go. Just so you're aware, it's the final round. Infinite Permanence dropping down as well there to stop the Cupsy Yummy Way. How interesting. Stop the Mitsurugi. Stopped the Cupsy Yummy Way. Managing to really keep Joey Lynch in check here. We already know what Javon's on. The Malice Master's here. But we haven't stopped yet. We'll normal summon Aramasa here. And we're going to go ahead and add Kusanagi from the deck to the hand. And so piling through here, looks like Link 2, going to bring out our SP Lunalight. We are going to banish. Considering our options here, maybe not. The Malice monsters are back in action. Malice P. Chessicat being normal summoned by Javon here in the final games here. We're only in game 1 of our final round 8, but we know how devastating Javon's deck could be. But Joey just quietly escalating himself through the tournament with some sort of hodgepodge of Mitsurugi Yummy Sky Striker. Gonna go and set a card. Always telegraphing, maybe I've got a Malice trap card I can chain. Maybe don't mess with me. Now activating a Lure of Darkness. We know he's all about that banishment. Not worried about Artifact Lancia in any way, shape, or form. Banishes a Malice monster just off the table. If you look at the upper left camera, you'll see Japan go ahead and pointing to his Malice monster. And looks like the one banished, it's going to be the March Hare because it went back to the hand and nowhere else. Are we going for the Lingaribo? Javon considers his options there. So now it looks like we are going to keep the pressure on. There hasn't been any points of interaction from Joey, mostly just staring down 2 Mitsurugi monsters in his hand that aren't rituals, and then of course the ritual monster itself, Amenomono Kumino Mitsurugi. Little helpful hints from our judge. Let's move that banishment so we can actually see it. So now you see that the Malice P March Hare is over there. But it looks like we are going to activate the effect of Kusanagi. Setting another card. Could be kind of rough here. So with that, we did not see much for Turb, but the Dominus Impulse being activated again there. This time set, but with a trap card in the graveyard. It will destroy. Nothing to banish for a spell like that. Both duelists haven't fully popped off yet. Both of these decks have a very high ceiling in terms of the amount of cards they can put on the field. And now we get that full extra deck. This is exactly what we thought it to be. But we shall see. The Malice P Chessicat destroyed as a result of battle by SP Lunalight. And then following up the attack there, Mitsurugi no Mikoto Kusanagi laying a hand on Javon. We did warn him. He would be back up on our stage, but he may not come out on top. But just wild to see that these consistent decks that people know in a format that everyone's experimenting in have risen to the top of the froth here. Speaking of top, we haven't seen the top tables have Dotscaper in a while. A Link summon occurring, likely to be Lingaribo. Oh, but it's Salamangreat Almirage instead. Infinite Impermanence stopping the SP Lunalight, dead in its tracks. So now we have a level 1 monster and a link 1 monster. But we're not playing Yummy on Javon's side of the board, although it would feel pretty good. I'm not sure what happened with the Malice P March Hare, but it is staying banished for now. So play appears to be passing back over to Joey. Joey draws for turn. Javon not nearly as cheery as he was in the prior duel. But it's okay. Just game 1. Still got plenty of time left on the clock. Looks like we're going in the battle phase. Attack over the Salamangreat Almirage with Kusanagi. Then another warning shot there with the SP Little Knight. 2 battle phases so far for Mitsurugi. Not big numbers, but keeping Javon's Malice just sort of out. Javon draws for turn. Takes a look at his face down set. Gonna go ahead and normal some of the Malice P Dormouse. Activates the effect. Do you stop it? Joey allows it to happen. It doesn't make much sense to banish the Malice P Dormouse. So banishing the Malice White Rabbit. So we'll see the infinite permanence again in the same column. Just holding it down. And now our MTP-07 being set there and then immediately activated. Let's say goodbye to Dormouse, who has not used its effect yet. So we do get to add, then possibly banish, but there are no Malice Link monsters on the field, so Javon just kind of pushing it a little further. Dormouse back onto the field, another minus 300. Certainly easy just to hit the equal sign there on the calculator. Minus 300, 300, 300. It's like Trickstar, but to yourself. I'll keep my anime jokes to myself as we continue play here. Going to be a Link 2. Not Cyber's Wicked this time. Going for the old Haggard Lizardos. Let's pay some costs. Banishing our Malice P Chessy Cat. Now we're going to play a little game of Cut the Deck. We're about to draw 2 here. Let's see. For banishing that Malice P March Hare, we'll grab 2 cards. Then it looks like we're going to go ahead and link off our Malice P Chessy Cat and the Haggard Lizardos. Certainly a hefty graveyard there. But we're going to bring out the Malice Q Red Ransom, so Red Ransom's effect activates. You would think it's earlier in the year just from looking at this field. What Doom of Dimensions? What Duelist Advance? What Justice Hunters? Well, give Joey some time. He will show us the Justice Hunters from his deck since he is playing a very strong Yummy engine there. Obviously got it very far in the tournament. Remember, this is the final round of the day. We had 217 players. 32 will get their invite to the North American World Championship qualifier, competing for their spot in the World Championship in Japan next year. But that's a long ways away. And the road there is this Duel. So Bestial Magnum's effect activating here. Actually a decent amount of light and dark monsters. Looks like we're probably going to go for the Cupsiemi way, it appears. And that seemed to be enough. Full Malice pop-off. But Malice is certainly strong. And if I were to trace a statement in the air about Malice, many duelists out there do not believe that it's a strong deck. But I'd be, well, behind the times if I was worried about its strength. It's obviously very strong. You know, if you're on the Duelist Cup right now in the background, you know exactly how strong full power Malice is. But you know duelists, if it's not an unfair build of the deck, they no longer want to play it. But the real heroes out there are just like, they just took away 2 cards. I can still play this deck just fine. But I'm not going to copy from somebody else's notes. Let Javon figure it out. But doing good so far. Now, it looked a little scary for Javon just for a moment there. We heard in his player interview after round 7, also from table number 1, that he's just going full-on Banish and hoping that nobody has Artifact Lancia. And so far, he has not lost the Artifact Lancia minigame. And mathematically, the possibility of drawing the card is strong. But if you don't get it, or you only get it and nothing else, you're not really putting up a fight against your opponent. What an extra deck there from Joey, though. The duels he must have had. If he wins, we'll have to ask him about his road to the top. But if not, well, we can just hear from Javon again. Plenty of time left on the clock. These duels finishing up their first game very fast. Already ready. Already. Joey presents his deck with that beautiful Yami Yugi from the 2-pack featuring Seto Kaiba in a similar pose, celebrating the quarter-century celebration. 25 years of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game. Can't wait till everybody who can hear my voice is 25 years older from now. We'll be dueling grandpas. Do you remember when people didn't think Malice was one of the best decks? But that's also a long way away. So we'll focus on the duel at hand as Joey may be starting off with the normal summon of Ghost Bell and Haunted Mansion. Not something you see every day. But it will be linked off here. Monster with 0 attack. Certainly meets the requirements of Salamangreat Almirage. A link monster on the field now, so Cookie Yummy meets its special summon requirement. Let's perform a Link Row summon, combining Level 1 tuner Salamangreat Almirage. Still sounds weird to say. But that'll bring out our Cupsy Yummy Way, grabbing 2 Yummy monsters from the deck. Imagine maybe Lollipo. Not as useful in this duel, but we'll definitely see Cupsy. And alongside Cupsy, you have to add another one and discard. Been a long day for Joey, but I'm sure he knows what he's going for. Ah, nice to see Marshmallow. And the Marshmallow Yummy going right to the graveyard after the discard effect. Oh, but the Droll and Lockbird. So that is a little painful here. You do a lot of searching from the deck to the hand. Droll and Lockbird, not fatal for all decks, but can certainly slow duelists down. Triple Tactics talent, by the way. We're going to show, looking at Malice in Underground, Dominus Impulse, and our 2 Ad Ignister monsters, both Wizard and Backup. So we do have Marshmallow. Going to go ahead hit the graveyard. We are link summoning off to say hello to our Yummy Snatchy, allowing us to immediately play Yummy Amusements. Certainly some great field spells to be had, both Mignon and Acroquet. Looks like we are then going to go ahead and link row summon. Bringing out our Cupsy Yummy Way. Oh no, excuse me, Lollipop Yummy Way. Just scoop it up. Two of those yummy monsters out of the graveyard. Cookie and Marshmallow, the sky's the limit. Don't want to hit a sugar crash. Joey with one game down cannot have anything out of the ordinary happen here. So it does look like we are going to link summon again. Another copy of Yummy Snatchy. And so we'll go ahead and bring out Cupsy Yummy in defense mode. Cylinder Droll and Lockbird, got to be careful though. Don't want to accidentally try to add or draw cards here. We will link off Cookie Yummy into Link Karibo. Feels really good, and thank goodness for things like Triple Tactics Thrust, allowing you to set the Black Coat Laughs from the deck face down. So really powerful board here, obviously. You can tag out with the Lollipop Yummy Way, getting various different effects. Maybe Sugar Crash. Of course, you've got the Link Karibo to protect your own life points. Solid board here. Still haven't even touched any of the Mitsurugi side of the deck. Although kind of hard to do it. Do get to see the Cookie Yummy back in action. Considering if we link row summon again. But we are going to do it. Goodbye, Link Karibo. Goodbye, Cookie Yummy. And hello, SP Little Knight. And that seems to be it. Pass turn. Javon draws. He's up a game. Can he close it out? Malice known to be able to just wreck duelists in a single turn. Is this Javon's single turn? Thinking about that Mitsurugi Purification. But we'll start with backup Adignister. Maybe the Link Karibo comes back. Looks like once that effect activates, we'll go ahead and tag out. Oh, but the Dominus Impulse. Say the nay. Locked into certain attributes, but not a problem for a mostly Dark Malice deck. So we will go into the deck. And now we're really just looking at SP Little Knight, Yummy Snatchy, Cupsy Yummy. SP Little Knight certainly able to hold it down for a bit. And Cupsy Yummy able to hang out with Yummy Snatchy just in case somebody wants about 100 life points in the machine. Malice P. White Rabbit. Feeling pretty good here. But that'll be enough. So I believe Javon slowed down, and Joey might have taken that game because Joey Lynch is your winner of game 2. We got ourselves a match here. Final round, final duel. Duelists accessing the side deck for one last time, trying to make those decisions so they could be that coveted #1 spot. You know what it means to be the best duelist in the room. Even if you already have your invite. Feels pretty good when all the websites start sharing your deck list. You see those images. Pasadena Regionals game guys, #1, Mitsurugi Yummy. Or Pasadena Regionals, #1, Malice. People talk about the deck list, but you're here to see it live. You can see that profile video, but where were you when one of these two duels made it? Final side deck options. Javon certainly all smiles the last couple of duels. Very serious here. Joey relatively stoic. They just shuffle those cards one last time. Siobhan considering those last-second side deck options. Got to leave that stack at 15. Plenty of great cards, but they can't all come in. I mean, technically they could, but you'd lose maybe a few vital points that got you this far in the tournament. And you still got to see the side deck cards. Here we are at the end, having made it so far. I think that's always one of my favorite things about Game Guys is whenever a new format happens, you know, you imagine it's going to be new decks or some powerful strategy, but consistency seems to be what it is that brings you through, well, today's 8 rounds of Swiss. One last pile shuffle to rule them all. Plenty of time left on the clock. Well over 30 minutes. If these two duelists went the distance, I would be very surprised. Joey's already ready. Siobhan does one last shuffle. Sufficiently randomize those cards. If you love Yu-Gi-Oh, you're in the right place as we enter the final duel. Battle City came to Pasadena. Who will leave as its champion? Siobhan gets an opportunity to make an impressive Malice board here. Let's see if the ratios came out right and he draws the cards he needs to get through this duel alive. Or if Joey is going to be your regional champion here at our Doom of Dimensions World Championship Qualifier Regional. So we'll start with Lure of Darkness. By the way, check out Joey's Harpy's Feather Duster hidden there behind the Cups of Yummy. Gonna go and banish. Ooh, saying goodbye to the backup adding Mister there. Maybe a duplicate in the hand, or maybe just need to keep everything else. Oh, okay, there we go. Duplicates. Any response here? No, but a little pause there from Siobhan anyway. Got to figure out what we're going to grab and figure out what we might say goodbye to. Nothing else in the graveyard. It is empty. Who was once such a smiling duelist, Siobhan is very locked in for this game, and there's no shade on that. If you're having a good time of winning, cool. If you're having a very serious time in winning, cool. But we are going to grab that Dark Cybers. Malice P. Dormouse. And then we are pitching the Epidemic Eradicator Virus in Quarter Century Secret Rare. Someone came here to do some big old bestial plays. But it looks like from there, pass turn. Harpy's Feather Duster activated. Siobhan considering whether or not to chain that card or let it go. Pressure's on, but we will call Dimensional Barrier. Do you say Ritual? Or do you say Fusion? Or Synchro, excuse me. Long day, duelists. Gonna find out from our judge what he called, just so we can know. Looks like he called. Oh, and the Droll and Lockbird. Looks like he called Synchro, by the way. Synchro. So the Mitsurugi deck, at least the part of the deck that's Mitsurugi, still live. But no Yummy shenanigans. But we still summon our Cups of Yummy. Go and link that off into Yummy Snatchy. Use Yummy Snatch's effect to place the field spell. Little yummy amusement for you. A croquet style. Go ahead and special summon back the Cupsy Yummy. Thinking about that link row. Of course you can't though. So instead, gonna go ahead and link off into another Yummy Snatchy. Yummy Snatchy combines with Cupsy Yummy. Can't do it, okay. Joey sort of backed up into a corner here, unable to synchro summon. Not an awful field. Certainly there are quick effects that can be activated on the opponent's turn in the Yummy family of cards, but this is critical. Staring only down a Yummy Surprise. A useless Sky Striker card, unfortunately, because look at that. You can see the Droll and Lockbird laughing at you, unable to add cards from the deck to the hand. So we'll enter the battle phase. Remember, it's going to be 500 boosts for each of those. So decent numbers, able to punch through. Joey obviously hit by some stuff in the past, but focusing on the present. I mean, a D barrier and a Droll and Lockbird against a deck like this can be a little difficult to deal with. Certainly see why Siobhan didn't call Ritual, because using the Droll and Lockbird pretty much takes care of the Mitsurugi deck. Not completely. Don't get offended, chat, but just enough to slow it down to this crawl that Joey's in now. Siobhan draws for turn. At any moment, we could be crowning our Game Guys regional champion. Siobhan has to pile something onto the field here. Shuffling his hand. Not much in the graveyard. Mitsurugi Prayer, Cupsy Yummy, and Harpy's Feather Duster. The Feather Duster got a lot done, but we do start off with a great normal summon of Malice P. Dormouse, but quick effect. Let's put 100 life points in the machine and see what we can fish out. Synchros are on the menu again. Cookie Yummy Way, flipping down the monster, face down. That is very difficult for Malice to deal with the ignition effect of Malice P. Dormouse. So good setup again. Joey not down and out just because he was locked out of his best cards. And there's the handshake. Javon concedes, knowing he can go no further with an Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring and Malice P. March Hare in his hand. There was no way out. So Joey just squeaking by with some small link monsters alone. But Joey Lynch is your champion. Undefeated with Yummy Mitsurugi. We'll get to talk to him in just a moment here. But good stuff. Took the long way home. Some of you duelists staring at the screen saying, oh, that should have been me. He didn't even play optimally. Well, then that could be you if you come on down to Pasadena, Texas. We have people travel from all over. North, south, east coast, west coast for this regional. So next time you want it to be you, saddle up, man, and ride on to Texas. Because we would love to have you. Then you could be up on our stage, on our microphone, and saying, yeah, it's me. Ooh, the zombie vampire, by the way. Oh, and gravity controller. What interesting extra deck choices. Oh, and of course, you know, just the Herald of Arclight. Very, very neat. Another regional under Joey's belt. Can he be stopped? Is he headed to YCS Anaheim? Will he win there? Find out the answer to all these questions and more once we get him up here. Just good dueling. My goodness. The last match slip of the day.
For an interview, Joey, and then we're good to go. Anyway, congratulations to both of y'all.
Who picks up his backpack, his deck box, passes the slip to the judge. Duelists were worried about grind games and 50 minutes not being enough, but man, these two duelists got it done in record time. And a big shout out to everybody who played today, especially some of our two-time winners. But we will have Mr. Joey Lynch reapproach the stage here. No stranger to winning regionals here. So yeah, Joey, if you just want to have a seat here and throw on your headphones so they can hear it. So I'll tell you, nobody gave me any necklace up here, so I'm like, okay, it's Sky Striker Yummy, it's Sky Striker Yummy Mitsurugi. How do we decide that was the stack for today?
Well, I just
You might want to adjust the microphone just to hear you a little
Okay,
better. Perfect,
sorry.
perfect. No, you're fine.
yeah, this earlier this week I was just thinking, what can I do with 2 level 8s to go into zombie vampire, or zombie vampire you can bridge into the yummy.
Yeah, we saw you showing the Yummy Vampire, or should be
Yeah.
the Yummy Vampire, the Zombie Vampire to your
Yeah,
opponent there.
Basically yummy vampire.
Where were you going to go with that if you happen to get like your Habakiri and Murakumo combining into that? What was the hope for the
I
mill
mean,
of the four?
it's just a way of extension and trying to like check for breakpoints and on the hand traps. Yeah. I mean,
Felt
you
really
just
good.
baiting Ash, you just feel good going through everything.
Definitely one of those decks where I could see you were pushing and pushing and pushing. Were you worried when the dimensional barrier came out, or you're just like, nah, I'm fine?
Well, good thing I drew the Harpies because it made them preemptively call, whichever one. And then the good thing about my list is I can, Ritual and Synchro and
Pivot to one or
Link
the other.
and XYZ. So
It almost reminds me, I know this is like a weird stretch, it reminds me of like when Fiendsmith was really prevalent in the format, specifically because it could play around Dimensional Barrier. Because
yeah.
if they tried to stop whatever you were playing, you just pivot into the Link monsters.
yeah, I really enjoy the Mitsurugi, the Mitsurugi and the Yummy deck because if you're playing in the mirror match, then you're gonna have like a really good advantage, right? 'Cause the Murakumo.
Oh, yeah, Murakumo is just like, hey, do you want to play, like, cards? Give me more cards. It's
Right,
so
yeah.
good for the card advantage. My understanding is this is not the only regional you have recently won. Is that right?
I didn't win one. I topped last 2
Ah,
weeks
okay.
ago in OKC.
People in the chat were cheering you on, like, Joey winning yet another regional. Dude is on fire. I ain't going to say that word. That'll get us canceled immediately.
Let's
but
go, Tyler.
yeah,
3
yeah.
names. Let's go, man.
It's good stuff, good stuff. Well, this is a huge win under your belt. Are you traveling to YCS Anaheim next week?
I'm gonna see.
You see? Oh,
I haven't booked
maybe.
yet, yeah.
Okay.
I was looking at flight tickets earlier.
Well, you still can. You still can. Remember, I mean, as long as you just sign up and show up and present for
Oh, yeah.
pre-reg for Friday, you're
Yeah.
still in the
I do
tournament.
feel good in this format, so maybe I'll make an appearance in Anaheim.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, if not, then there's still YCS Pittsburgh coming
Oh
up.
yeah.
There's also the remote duel YCS in December, so you can do from the comfort of your own home. I see the Epic shirt. Are we playing from DFW?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. Well, you want to give any shouts to anybody in Texas?
Yeah. Shout out to Cam. Shout out to Chase. Shout out to Mondo. Shout out to Israel, and then shout out to Epic.
And some of the greatest player names anyone has ever heard, even without the last name. You're like,
Oh.
Cam, I know exactly who that World Championship
Oh
competitor
yeah,
is.
yeah. Everyone knows Cam.
So you already have your invite. Is there anything that's like the next goal on your list? Like you're just trying to check boxes?
My goal is I need to become a champion.
Okay, okay. We've got some YCS champions. I mean, the caliber of people that come down to game, guys, is just so stacked. Yourself included, by the way. You
Yep.
can't count yourself out of that.
Appreciate it.
Well, with that, is there any final word you want to give to any of your fans out there who know that you won another regional?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just always gonna be another Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. So even if you do bad, just remember, there's always the next one. So
Another chance, yeah. Well, you got to keep and help at a point. So worst to worst, we'll always just see at the World's Qualifying Points playoff next year.
yeah.
All right,
right.
well, good deal. It's great
Heck yeah.
seeing you, man. I'll let you go ahead and be with your people, then we'll close out the
Absolutely.
stream. So thanks again, and good games, man. Good games, good games. All right, chat. What a set we had. And what a gentleman, by the way. Give it up for Joey. Just good stuff and some incredible dueling. Thank you so much. It has been a great time here. We got to see all kinds of stuff. Remember, if you missed out on rounds 1, 2, 3, and 4, those are going to be on the VOD. We actually managed to come back on round 5. A little bit of technical difficulties, but stuff happens. Game Guys is an incredible venue. We're not done. I'm just going to flash. You can see. This venue is insane. Like, it is just an incredible vibe, and there's a lot of people who travel here from all over. Please be one of those duelists. We won't have a regional until obviously the next format, right? This is Doom and Dimensions, so you'll have to wait for the next major core booster pack to come out. But this is where we're traveling for. We see judges, we see duelists, we see YCS champions, world championship competitors. This is worth it. It's something special. There's not every place you're just getting free Red Bulls for some reason. That's a real vibe here. Thank you, too. We've gotten plenty of excellent feedback, and we try to, like, tool the stream based on what you say, some audio issues we're able to fix, more information on the graphics and stuff like that. This is your stream. This is the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG community, and it doesn't work if I'm just a talking head that's talking to no one. You on the other end of that, whether I'm tapping on the glass of your phone screen, maybe you're on your PC, maybe you can hear my voice in the background of you playing the Duelist Cup. Man, good luck. Get some sleep. Be hydrated. But may you manage to get all the points you need in order to get to the World Championship, because duelists, just incredible people, geniuses from all walks of life, just getting it done, not listening to anybody, carving out their own championship one card at a time. By the way, we also had Genesis format managed to fire here. We won't be able to stream it because it seems like it's already in place. So we don't want to like grab those duelists and make them like try to pick up a duel in progress. But that's also really neat too. Remember that the Genesis format will be also having a lot of public events. Your YCS is coming up, whether it's Anaheim, Pittsburgh, etc. Taking a look at all of the chat stuff. Thank you so much. And yeah, you can say whatever. I just can't say it. You ain't gonna catch me saying the words I'm seeing in the chat. Try to be nice. Try to be nice, please, please. But I don't have a button to mod, so have fun. Have fun. That said, speaking of having fun, I'm Pharoahmone. Hopefully you didn't mind my voice too much over the past 9 or so hours. Whoops. If you don't like it, I got a little spoiler alert for YCS Anaheim. You may have to hear a little bit more of it. But this has generally just been a good time, and I do my best to make the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game accessible to duelists who don't know what's going on and exciting for duelists who do. It's a hard job, and I don't always get it right, but I'll keep on trying. Game Guys, such a killer venue. I know I keep saying it. They ain't paying me for this. This isn't because I'm like, I got a huge check or something that says, hey, tell them Game Guys is good. No, I genuinely love this venue. So remember that. If you come here, you will be just as excited as I am. And it's not just because we've got a couple of Red Bulls in the system. Ha, ha, ha. But thank you so much, chat. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here because you know what's going on now. Well, FGC fans, you are all free now. Have a great rest of your weekend. Do tune in to YCS Lille. That's going to tune in like at 3 a.m. local time, so there's plenty of stuff coming up. We love having you, duelists, but until then, see you in the next one. Pass turn.